Jones.
As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to pull Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't.
Fullback, hello, Roger Vick, Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the dress all about.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golson.
Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick, the 2009 NFL Draft, New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner. Dino Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.
The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Future Pro Bowler, Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, running back.
Here we are, Dom C. We're going to take a break from the staring at blank screens, waiting with a little bit of a mock draft. How you doing tonight, Dom?
Oh, man. I was just saying, man, this day flew so bad. It went by so fast. I wish we had better news. However, we're here, 10 o'clock mock, the best show on all of YouTube for all the content creators.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I'm happy to be here. I wish we had a quarterback in place, but I'm happy to be here. And that's the last I'm going to talk about the A word. That's the last I'm saying.
You know what, Dom? I want to say something. I'm happy that you are here, and I'm happy to be here with you as well. And the thing is, let's look at it like this, right? We do this every week. We get a theme going on, and we try to learn as much as we can about prospects and maybe scenarios, and we do this whole thing. But today, we don't have a theme, right? Because the hope was that, well, now that we signed that tackle and now that we got this guy, that we could just adjust our mock to address free agency. Clearly, nothing, not enough going on for us to do that.
Not true. Not true. We don't have to draft the kicker any longer.
Well, that's right. And we do have a safety, Chuck Clark. So we have that.
Okay.
Maybe, just maybe, that takes Brian Branch off the board. Who knows? But the thing is, so here's what we'll do.
Let's shoot. I'm all ears.
We'll look at this as the breather, the breath of fresh air. Let me shake off the A word, like you said. Let me look into some young kids, and let's see what kind of stuff we can do. Now, Don, we're going to do it a little bit different tonight as well. We're going to run 2 mocks, guys. We're going to run 2. We are going to do, with the polls and all that stuff, we'll do the PFN mock simulator, which I was told this week was readjusted. So they edited some things post combine, which is nice. I'm curious to see how that all looks. But we're also going to do a side mock, just Dom and me. We'll do it quick too. We're not going to dance around. We're going to go this, and at the end we're going to compare them to see how it lands. That's will be fun. So we're going to try this though. Dom, you're going to run the PFF simulator, right?
Yes. Let's see. I'm going to
try to share it. Now, see how you can do that. I'm going to see if it pops up on my end.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say hello to people. I do want you guys to know, guys like it's Snoopy. Hello, Snoopy. Because of your membership, I was, in fact, able to add a new emoji. Now, I thought it would be 2 emojis or 3 emojis. They gave me one more emoji. I got 5 new members and they gave me 1 emoji slot. The bastards. So anyway, I think it's a good one. See if you guys can find it. I was putting it in the chat. It is something I had specially made just for you guys. It is an alteration of a logo that we all know and love, or a symbol that we all know and love. And it's a little bit different. See if you guys can find it, all of you stream beaners, and go ahead and put the new emoji in the chat. There it is. Yeah, there it is. I see it. But yeah, so and let's have some fun. And if you guys want to help me get more emojis in there, you can join the stream beaners with the little join button underneath. And guys, it is greatly appreciated. All the support for the channel. It just helps us, man. It enables me to be here and do these things. Like, how the hell can I justify staying on here till 12:30 at night? And then coming back tomorrow morning if I don't have some support, Dom. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta be support.
Hit the like button, the milk thumbs.
Milk thumbs. I know. I'm making a milk thumbs shirt. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the milk thumbs.
So,
all right.
So can you see my mock?
I can. Let me see this. Here it comes. All right. So this is good. So we'll go back and forth. I want to see now if I have you there, if I'm going to be able to share a screen as well. Let's see here. Where the hell did it go? Mock Simulator, PFN. So let me see if it knocks yours out. Now, do you see it? No, we're good. We're solid, dude. We have them both.
Yes.
So that's really, really great. So awesome, man. Look, we got our first hundo in here. It's nice to see 100 of you drop in for the breather stream. Again, we're going to say that a few times. This is the breath, guys. We have been online or with our ear to the damn radio or to a podcast since fucking 10 a.m. this morning. And nothing has happened. Oh, a little bit. As far as Jets. Dom, why don't you tell them what did happen? We had a big move today. So why don't you tell them maybe a name people recognize?
Oh, the Jets have inquired and have talked to. And I'm trying to find the details because I did see it. It hasn't been out. But guys, we signed Lamar Jackson.
We did.
We signed Lamar Jackson.
Now, Anthony Rizzi's saying no to Lamar, but Anthony, we did. We signed Lamar Jackson today. I'm not sure if you guys are excited or not, but it's a good move. Do you think it's a good move, though, Lamar Jackson?
Listen, it's not going to hurt us. It's a nice little move. I mean, we have some experience with Lamar Jackson.
We do.
So I'm happy to say that there's a good possibility that he's on this Jets roster. Who would have thought?
I like it. You know what's funny? I actually thought for a while that Lamar Jackson just might be better suited to play safety, right? Because he has an issue with once he's really solid with the ball, with the game in front of him. Once he has to turn, he becomes a different player.
That's right.
It's a big issue. Right?
Yeah.
But he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the wherewithal. Like he's a good hitter, good tackler.
He's young. You know, he's got some experience. Was coached up well. So
that's right. So we got our guy back. If you guys don't know who we're talking about, Lamar Jackson was a member of Joe Douglas's first ever undrafted free agent class. So we have guys like Bryce Huff, who we gave a second round tender to, which is nice to see. We have guys like, it just flew right out of my head. Who's another? We have Kenny Yeboah, who's an undrafted free agent.
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams is an undrafted free agent. Then we have Bam Bam Bigelow as an undrafted free agent. So Joe Douglas, even like Javelin Guidry, while he's not here now, he was on the team for 2 years. And I'm going to say this. I was not a fan of Javelin Guidry. All right. I liked his speed and obviously I root for him, but I was not a fan of his. But in that Tennessee game that the Jets snuck out with a win in 2021, Javelin Guidry had arguably the most important tackle in the entire game. Derrick Henry broke through the line. He was just about to do Derrick Henry things, and here comes little 3'9" Javelin Guidry, and he just perfect form tackled him around his ankles, open field by himself. So you got to give it to him, man. So that's another thing too. Not all these guys are going to last forever. What's the average NFL career? It's like
3.6 years.
3.6
years.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, Matthias. How are you, bud?
See, there it is. Harry found it. Now, I know it doesn't represent itself when I do the thing. Harry found it. Let me see all you guys with your new stream beaner emojis, everybody. Again, all of you guys who have already signed up, I thank you. I love you. And if I was with you, I would hug you. That's what I would do. Jacob's here with milk thumbs, right? Harry's got the milk thumbs. Dick Chimney's Burner's in the house. I see Vervain in there and Mark from Asbury Park's around. Jonathan Francois is in the house, Dom. We also have Eddie Hunt and Rob. Look at Rob's here. Nick is here. Oh, God, he's a Fungus Among Us is back. We have Salty Nuts McGee. He's in the house. I love to see Salty Nuts. Remember that song with Chef from South Park? Suck on my chocolate, salty balls. That was the best. That's fucking brilliant, dude, what they did with that. Really is.
South Park was they're playing 4D chess, those guys.
Yeah, no doubt. They're way ahead of the curve. Jason Zayas reminding us, guys, yes, there's some recent news. JFM did, in fact, restructure his contract. So the Jets made, what'd you say it was, Dom? $5 million extra bucks?
Yeah, just under $5 million.
All right.
Actually,
so look at that.
I can give it to you exactly. I can look on the old interweb.
Yeah, so it's amazing, dude. Look at how much extra money Joe Douglas has figured out how to create. Now, again, we'll have to pay it at some point, right? We know that. But this is the year we need to do a few things, namely the big one, the big fish. So we need to have the money to sign the big fish. Joe Douglas has made it look easy, honestly, right? Effortless, Dom. Effortless.
He's doing Joe Douglas things, man. And I'm still not going to mention the A word, but I'm still very, very, very confident. And as I see more of these quarterbacks coming off the board, I get more and more confident.
Yeah, I'm with it, man. Now, look, we're going to have to mention him. I think you're doing a fantastic job keeping it out of the 10 o'clock mock vernacular. You're killing it. We're going to have to bring him up eventually. But here's what I will say, guys. There are a lot of feelings right now. I put a poll in there for you guys, an opening poll to see where we are. Now, I'm going to end that poll now just to see where the first wave of people that came in to hang out with us tonight, where you guys reside. Now, the question is, let me read this. Are you nervous after today's lack of action in free agency? Now, interestingly, I have seen a lot of emotion, right, Dom? I've seen a lot of emotion out there. Yeah. But this particular group, Dom, is saying 56% of them says, no, I'm not nervous. 43% are saying yes. So what do you make of that? Like 56% of the group that we have in here are still cool as a cucumber.
Yeah. Listen, this is my take. All right. As I said, the more quarterbacks that come off the board, the more confident I am that this thing is done and just, when it's announced, everyone can breathe a deep sigh of relief. Now, I'm not concerned that there was a lot. The Jets were very quiet today because I didn't think that we were going to splash in that first wave of the big name free agents. I just the way that our cap was structured and with all these moving parts, I think that was never going to be this offseason. That was off seasons of the past, but not this one. We didn't have the money. We weren't flush with cap spacing and cash like we were in years past. We will be in the next couple. I think there's going to be time and place for that. But I think this was going to be the free agency of the second and third tier guys that are coming to play. I do find it interesting that we still have yet to see one wide receiver. Actually, one wide receiver has been signed, and that was Sterling Shepard, who re-signed with the Giants for $1.5 million.
I see. Yeah. Now, Joe Buddha bringing up, now there was a good signing, a re-signing on our end, right? Mm-hmm. So we were able to keep Greg the Leg. Do you know what the details were of that one, Dom?
$3.5 million.
For 1 year?
For 1 year. Got a little bit of an increase, $1 million pay raise.
A little bit. If I get a 3% increase out there, ends up being like, $12,000 or something like that. And I'm like, yeah. And we call $1 million a little tiny bump. Yeah. That's what we call it. Yeah. It's all relative. But guys, yep. So Nathan and Joe and everybody talking about Greg the Leg, Steve V as well. Greg the Leg Zerline is back with us, the only Jets kicker to ever make it through the uprights from 60 yards away. 57 in the rain. We got him back, and that's a good thing, man. So we go into camp knowing who our kicker is. It doesn't mean you can't bring some young hotshot in, see if he can supplant them. Sure, why not? But as it stands right now, that's one that we don't have to worry about, and that's a good thing, Dom. That's
Absolutely.
a good thing.
I agree.
So when we're in our round 7 in the mocks tonight, we don't have to worry about.
We don't have to worry about the kickers. You get an extra shot at that, 7th round, 6th round linebacker, or fourth tier guard if you want one, because you don't have to pick a kicker. Beautiful thing.
Yeah, so we saw some guys that we like. Jimmy Ward is gone. He went through the Texans. Now look, I don't think too many of us thought it was like, we weren't like banking on it or anything, but I think it would have been nice, right? It'd been nice.
Sure,
to
it would have been
see
nice.
That, right?
Yeah.
Saleh get a guy that worked in his defense for a few years there. It would have been nice, but we saw him go to the Texans, so he's off the books or off the boards. Let me say.
Off the board, yeah.
And we also saw another one. A lot of Jets fans had their eye on was Sammy Darnold is off the boards as well. Sam's got a contract to go back out west where he belongs with Kyle Shanahan, arguably one of the better play callers, if not best play callers in the NFL. If anyone can make Sam Darnold, successful, I gotta say it's Kyle Shanahan. You think it's a good fit?
I think it's a good fit schematically for the player and the team, but I find it an interesting signing. Obviously, they have Trey Lance there. You know that with what they spent in that trade up to get Trey Lance, they want Trey Lance to be the guy. You then also have Brock Purdy, who they are very high on, as they should be. He produced when given the opportunity. Obviously, he's dealing with the elbow injury, so I'm thinking Sam Darnold is more of a kind of I didn't see the terms of the agreement, but probably one of those higher end safety plans. Now think back to a couple years ago when we had Bridgewater in camp, right? He was in camp, he played great, nice name, and then he wasn't going to make the final roster because everyone was healthy and everyone was good, and they said, okay, Teddy, where do you want to go? We're going to help you get somewhere where you want to go. They shipped him off right at the end of camp to the Saints, and recouped a pick or two, so on and so forth. I think that could be probably. I think Sam Darnold is the safety valve until Brock Purdy is healthy, because my money's on them really going with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy as number 1 and number 2. So Sam Darnold stay in San Francisco, if all works out well, could be short lived.
Yeah, right. It's a good point. And even where it stands now, it's only 1 year. I think it's good. I think it's good for him. And look, if anybody's had, excuse me, they've had good quarterbacks, but they've had a lot of issues with their quarterbacks. All of them got injured. We saw them in the championship game. They were using, what was it?
Josh Johnson.
Wait, who was it?
But they had Josh Johnson at one point, right?
Well, he got hurt too.
Yeah.
So it was McCaffrey. Wasn't McCaffrey playing quarterback?
Yeah.
So yeah, they can stand to bring in some guys. Gitmo Bob checking in. What's up, Bob? He says he's been a Jets fan for over 50 years and he's learned it doesn't help to get nervous. Now, here's what I want to point out to everybody. Now, I'm just as susceptible as anyone. Like Bob, I've simmered over the years, settled, if you will. I don't get quite as up or down as I used to, but I'm still susceptible to the swings of emotions. Like I was telling Dom before the stream, for the most part today, I didn't buy into anything, any rumor, this, that, it's happening. I didn't buy into anything except one time when Trey Wingo's tweet came out. Said it's a done deal, and then Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall and Mekhi Becton, everybody started going nuts. I got this like pit. I'm like, oh my God, it's real. Yeah. Like this really just happened. Other than that, so that was disappointing. But other than that, I just tried to stay even keel. But here's the truth of it, guys. It's only the first day of negotiating window. This could all be done, and they're just going to announce it on Wednesday when they can actually sign it. We don't know. The one thing I will say, I have a hard time believing that Joe Douglas is just sitting there like, can somebody tell me what's happening? Like, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree wholeheartely. And we talked about that off the air. Like, there's no way that Joe Douglas is just sitting there saying, well, I hope, let's hope And if he is, and if it proves that he retires or goes back to, or if the A word goes back to Green Bay, then then I'll eat that crow. But there's no way that Joe Douglas is just sitting here watching all these options come off the board, without a true understanding or a true belief that this is a done deal. And Trey Wingo announced it. You can hang your hat on, who knows? I only go to, Trey Wingo's fine. Or people say, I only listen to Schefter or Rappaport, blah, 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 blah. Trey Wingo was the one who, put out last year that he was going back to Green Bay. He was right. So he seems to have a close inkling. Maybe he's got a little birdie that chirps in his ear, anything Aaron Rodgers, just to kind of stick it to Schefter and Rappaport.
I think that's exactly right. Aaron Rodgers has said openly he doesn't give them anything. He's like, if those guys are saying something about me, don't believe it. It's not accurate. They don't have an inside track to me. So he's giving his guys, specific, probably hand-chosen guys, access. And there's a lot of people thinking that maybe Rodgers decides to break it on McAfee's show tomorrow. That would be, that could be, makes a lot of sense. That literally sticks it to everybody who was freaking out. Did you see Schefter? His face was like purple. He was texting. He was, he was dying for some news. He didn't get anything. And then he just gives it to McAfee. Why not? So, all right, we're going to start this mock. We're going to get to Leo Vernacchio's super chat, and then we're going to get in there. We got enough people to get started now. Thank you guys for just being who you are all day long. We are the best. We have been hanging all day long, hoping for some news. And now we're going to take a little breather. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're not going to get upset with each other. And we're just going to ride into the evening here, a little bit of looseness and fun, and have some smiles on our face. So we're going to get that going. Leo checks in. He says, are you guys doing a watch party tomorrow? I definitely think Rodgers is going to announce it on the McAfee show. It would be so cool to celebrate together. I think Ryan is doing a watch party. But I'll tell you, that doesn't mean that everybody else can't. There was a time at one point today, there was literally Richie, Matt, Ryan, Jake, Buffalo. Everybody was live at the same moment except me. I knew it. I'm going early. I'm just going to bail out and let them do it because I had a roast chicken to make here, Dom. But yeah. So anyway, who knows? Maybe we all do it. Maybe we all link up and do it. But there definitely will be one, Leo. And I think there's a good chance, guys. I really do.
And on that same note, before you get onto the draft, we get into the mock, Bean, the guys in the chat. I think they all have to realize how lucky we all are that we get the content creators who are here nonstop, going on day 7 of the A word watch, to give us give us this kind of forum to vent and talk and chat and kind of go through it together. Listen, Jets Twitter and this Jets community that we have is such a freaking cool thing, dude.
It is
such a cool thing. It really is.
You guys are the best, dude. Nobody has what we have. Nobody. No other fan base has it like we have it. So good for you. Good for us. I love hanging. I love getting to know all you guys. Even it's funny. We just know your name. We know a little word like vervain and we feel like we've been age-old friends since childhood. It just feels like that closeness,
Yeah, man.
It's really great.
Sure.
All right. So guys, I put a poll in the chat. Go ahead and pick your position that you want to see us go. Now I'm going to start the draft, so we'll see. I'm also going to show you the big board, but the poll is up there. Let me get the comments off the board here. Hey, Ron, what's up, buddy? 57-year Jets fan. Good to see you, Ron. Ron Luizo in his house. So there it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit start, and Dom's going to do the other mock on the PFF simulator. So here we go. 7 rounds of Jets fun starting now. Let's see. Here we go. All right, so I got a trade over here. We got 2 trades over here, Dom. We have the Bengals want us to go all the way to 28. They'll give us next year's 1st and 2nd. Holy shit. And then the Eagles want us to go back to 30 and give them 7. All right, so we get the same first and second. We slide back 2 more spots, but for that, we also get to move up 8 spots from 74. That's 12 spots, actually. 74 to 62. So I'm going to look at the poll now for the position, Dom, and then we're going to take a look. I'm going to drop this and look at the big board for you guys. Hold on a sec, Arun. So here's what the big board looks like. Okay.
Hey, we can take a quarterback, guys. Who cares about the A word?
A lot of people are getting nervous. Might want to do that. So let me look at the poll and we'll see which position we're leaning toward. Offensive tackle is crushing it with 62%. So that's what we'll look at. But now we're going to talk about the trades. Okay. I'm going to throw a poll in there. We're going to be doing the polls quicker tonight, guys. I mean, in most instances anyway. So we're going to do trade. We're going to say the Bengals. And don't worry, we'll always try to counter and get a little more if we can. Eagles, we have no trade. All right, so we got Bengals, Eagles, and no trade. That is up there. Dom, what are you looking at here? What do you think? The chat wants to go with the tackle. So
I still stand. I still stand on what I really feel. I think there's going to be 2 guys at the tackle position at the top of Joe Douglas's board. And if one of those 2 guys there, he'll probably stick and pick. Paris Johnson's one of them, who's off the board.
Yep.
And oh my God, why am I trying? Broderick Jones is the other one. He likes those bigger, longer arms. That's kind of his measurement motif that he likes to tackle. So I think if one of those 2 guys are on the board, those will probably be the picks if we stick and pick.
Okay. So, all right. So again, guys, the poll is up. I'm taking a look at the tackles for you. Look, we still got our favorites are still there other than Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson is the only tackle off the board. So this is an opportunity, a golden opportunity, if you will, to really get our pick outside of Paris Johnson. So, all right, let me take a look at this poll and see what they're thinking on the trade. 44 of you have voted. I'll give it a few more seconds. 51. Okay, we're flying in now. No trade looks like it's going to take it, and that's fun. That's fine. This is a good trade, though. I would say I might entertain one of these. I might. If it was just me, I might.
Yeah, listen, in reality, I think that they're gross overpays by both Cincinnati and Philadelphia. But listen, I'm fine. I'm fine with sticking. I'm fine with trading down if there's a partner that wants to trade up. I think that's really the avenue that's going to be in play for Joe Douglas this year come April, especially if we give up, depending on the capital that we give up for the A word.
That's right. Now I see someone asking in the chat, does this include having Aaron Rodgers? No, this is being governed. We're just doing the mock. Again, we were hoping we had some real big moves to discuss, but really all we have is Chuck Clark, and we re-signed Zerline, and you could say we re-signed Quincy Williams as well. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just governing this mock with where we are in free agency right now. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. So no trade wins it.
Wow.
So we're going to go back. So there's the tackles. I'm going to go ahead and put the top 4 tackles on the board. That's kind of where we are. I mean, you could I'm going to say the top 3. That's what we're going to do. OT for pick 13. We have Broderick Jones. Whoops. We got Broderick Jones. We got Skoronsky. And then we have Anton Harrison, everybody's new favorite, Dom.
Yeah, well, he should be. And like I said, realistically, where the Jets pick, I think you got to get out of the first round, or you have to get out of either the first or the second round with one of those top 5 tackles. That's the ideal. That's the ideal situation. Not to say that there's other tackles here that won't help, in line of Cody Mauch or Jalen Duncan or, those types. But I think that there's a clear shelf, a clear tier after those top 5 tackles.
Yeah. Now I see someone saying Dave or Steve. He's saying BPA should be a choice in the poll. Here's the thing. I agree with you, but here's the thing. The simulator's best player available and all, it's not really in line perfectly with reality. So kind of leaning on them, I don't think. I'd rather just lean on each other, like just kind of go with what we know and what we see rather than the simulator's best player available. But Dom, let's go over now. We have the tackle here. Now, what are we doing on the other side? So Dom C and GreenBean alongside of this mock are running a quickie. So what do we got going on over there? I'm going to switch right now and see how it goes.
Before we go into this one, my suggestion, why don't we figure out what the chat wants to do on that one so that we're not.
Just go ahead. Let's make our pick here because I have a poll up. So I'm letting the poll run.
All right. Well, I got it set up right. I got it at 7 Jets pick, seven rounds. Let's start the draft.
Let's hit it. Guys, now the poll is up. Go ahead, get your choice in there. Broderick Jones, Skoronski, or Anton Harrison for pick 13. We'll end it in just a few moments here.
And here we're looking at a lot of the same guys that are off the board and a lot of the same guys that are available. Obviously, the rankings are different depending on which side. We do have 7 teams that are looking to trade. And that's Washington, Tampa, Cincinnati, New Orleans, the Rams, Cleveland, Atlanta. Now, Bean, since this is our draft over here in PFF, if you want, we can make one of these trades. We can kind of play devil's advocate here and say, all right, the chat didn't want to trade down.
We could.
Now,
I don't know if it's really 7 teams want to trade. It's 7 teams that are available. It's weird with PFF. I don't think
they say if you see here, I don't know why it's not showing on here, but when I click on this tab right here, I'm showing teams interested in pick 13, and it lists Washington at 16, Tampa Bay at 19, Cincinnati, New Orleans, and then 3 teams in the second round, and that's the Saints, Rams. The Rams, Cleveland, and Atlanta, which we're not going to entertain. So there's really 4 first-round picks here. And that's Washington at 16, Tampa at 19, Cincinnati at 28, and New Orleans at 29. The difference is PFF, they tell you who is interested, and then you got to make an offer.
That's what it is, right? I knew something was different. So we have to kind of craft it. Now, I don't want to spend too much time crafting with each team. What do we look at? What about sliding back 2 spots? What do you think of that?
I think it's feasible. I don't know how much we're going to get back. But we might be able to secure a third here. You want to try it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Washington, you're going to give us 16 and 97, which is a comp pick for our 13. And they say, yeah, that's going to be accepted. That's a no-brainer.
All right.
We might be able to get even more if we want to, but we'll just for sake of speed, we'll just take that. I think that's a fair offer. It's offered and it's accepted.
All right. So we now slide back 2 spots and we gained a third. All right. I'm in. Now, in our poll over here, we have just about 70 votes. Right now, Broderick Jones is kind of cleaning up. It's Skoronski's got 41% to Jones's 55%. But as it stands right now, get your votes in there because Broderick Jones is looking like the winner. We're going to end it in just a moment after this pick. So you want to change it up. You want to go with like maybe a wide receiver. You thinking tackle? What are you thinking, Dom?
Oh man, I think you can go with that a bunch of different ways. I mean, we can try to, we can change it up. They're still getting trade offers here. You got pretty much your pick of the litter outside of Quentin Johnson at wide receiver.
What about Brian Branch? He's there.
You got Brian Branch. You have the tackles that are still on the board. You got some good defensive players here. You got Dalton Kincaid as well. I mean, tight end's probably not that important of a pick. I think our choice either is going to be we're going to roll with the tackle just like the chat's doing, or we can switch it, or we could switch it up and take a wide receiver.
I want to have some fun on this one. Not like for the sake of being different, but I think I'd like the idea. Let's see what it looks like if we wait till the second round to kind of try to land our tackle. Let's assume Skoronski was our guy and he's gone.
Okay.
Right. So Paris Johnson and Skoronski are both gone. So let's pretend that those were our guys. Those were the only tackles we had with the first round grade.
Mhm.
They're gone. So where are we going to go? We got wide receiver, we got safety, but we just got Chuck Clark. So maybe the safety isn't quite the priority. So maybe we're thinking wide receiver here, Dom.
Let's go ahead and lock down Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think he's a really good fit for Hackett's offense. He's a phenomenal blocker. You know, he can fit that, you know, that he can play inside and outside. Let's just lock him up. Let's go Jackson Smith-Njigba.
There it is. So on that mock, we're taking a wide receiver in the first. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. We got 80 votes. It's close, within 10 points. But it turns out that Broderick Jones is in fact the winner. So we're going to go over here and we're going to take ourselves some Broderick Jones. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. We started with an offensive tackle. Now we have one trade offer here. I'm just going to put it in the poll. We'll do this 1 minute. The Broncos want us to slide back to 67 from pick 43. They also would like us to add 143, and we'll be able to move that pick all the way up to 68. So this will give us 2 consecutive picks, which is not terrible here. So
yeah. Now I don't see the PFN up on the board.
Oh, I didn't switch it. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Thank you. Good catch. Sorry, I got to switch you back. There it is. So we took Broderick Jones, everybody, and we have a trade offer up here. The Broncos, again, want us to slide back to 67 from 43. And when we do that, they will allow us to take pick 143 and make it 68. So that gives us 2 consecutive picks. But as we know, well, no, those are second round picks. What was I thinking? I was thinking in the 90s. Okay, so we get 2 second round picks.
No, those are third rounders. Those are
third. So wait, man, what's with my math tonight? Wait, 32 picks. Yeah,
6.
right, exactly. I had it right the first time, Dom. Jesus, I'll tell you, man, my brain's. All right, so I'm going to put that. I'm working on that poll right now. Just trade, yes or no. This is the Broncos trade, yes or no. It's up there. Let us know what you think. This is an interesting one to consider here. So we would bounce out of the second round and have 2 early third round picks. So let us know what you think. And again, we have ourselves some Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
Let's see what the big board is here. Look at this. Cody's there.
You're still on the tackles.
Yes, I am. There we go. Here's the big board. All right, guys. So
there's some good players right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's still some good players there.
Maybe we just fit. Now, look, we lost Connor McGovern today, everybody. So we do not have a center at all. So we're going to have to think about that. Maybe this guy right here makes a whole bunch of sense. But if we trade back, he might not be there, Dom. I'm going to say that.
Correct. He definitely won't. He for sure won't. So, and while the poll's up, why don't you flip screens and I'll show you what we're looking at here on PFF. And as I said, I think we got to get away with one of those. Ideal, we get away with one of those 5 tackles. And man, we picked here. Where did we pick? We took Jackson Smith, and then Broderick was the next pick. Anton Harrison went, and the 2 picks right before us, DeJuan Jones and Darnell Wright. So
look at that. So what are we left with? See this? Now, this is good. This is good to see this kind of stuff. This is why I like shaking it up every now and then, because it shows you, obviously it can be different, but it shows you some scenarios that you might face if you do realign, reorganize your priorities. So now look, all the tackles that we would think we'd like up in that front end, they're all gone, Dom.
Yeah, so let's look at the tackle board here just to see what we're working with. And you got Bergeron, you got Duncan, you got Cody Mach, you got Blake Freeland, who was excellent at the combine. And then after that, you got some decent guys, but we're talking probably after 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe Tyler Steen 5. After that is real development guys. You know, at this point, geez, I might even just wait, Bean. I might wait another round.
Because you're not necessarily getting a talent that's much higher than who's going to be there.
Correct.
In the third. Right.
Correct.
So all right. So what other positions are you looking at? Why don't we take a look at the big board here and see what's going on?
Yeah, let's do that.
While we're doing that, Leo Vernacchio says, if Levis is there at 13, do we trade down? I would have to say that would be optimal. I would love it if one or more of the quarterbacks are still there at 13, Leo, because that would sweeten the pot for any teams behind us that are thinking quarterback. I think the trade becomes a little bit sweeter. You might actually be able to squeeze a little bit more out of the lemon and get that trade. I think you'd have some partners. So that would be a good move. I think if Levis
highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. I think these 4 guys are going to go off the board in the first 5 picks. How crazy is that?
Oh, that's that wouldn't be
it'd be great because it's pushing better talent down the board. But you know, I digress. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I can't see us pulling the trigger on a Will Levis, and there's somebody underneath us, Tampa Bay or you know, a bevy of different teams, Washington, that might want to just move up and you know, take a guy like that. So here's our board. Here's our board.
What do we got here? We got to move a little faster on this one so we can get back to the other one. So what are you thinking, Dom?
Listen, you know, the interior's okay. You know, there's guys like Weipler, there's Avila's there. You know, you got John Michael Schmitz. You got some other names here that you know aren't gonna stick. You know how infatuated I am with Adebaware.
Yep.
From Northwestern, inside outside flexibility. Luke Musgrave's a great player. You have a linebacker that you can fill in.
I'm thinking we want to go interior offensive line. That's my vote. I'm thinking center is our priority. It's a desert out there, Dom. It's a desert. Or all gone.
So are you thinking pure center, Bean, or you like a guy like Avila who's got that?
I like Avila. Even though I do like Weipler as well, you know that, but I think Avila is a better grab right now.
And Avila's the pick, so you can move on. You can move on to.
All right. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end our poll for the dude. It's at 50. We're deadlocked. We need votes. It's 50-50 on the nose right now. Whether or not we want to take this trade, if you haven't voted, now's the time. Dom, if you didn't vote.
I didn't. I'm going to get on there and do it.
Let's go. Let's see which way Dom goes. I'm going to give it 15 seconds, okay? 15 seconds. And I'm stopping it. Ooh, it's going back and forth. It went 51 no. Now it's 51 yes. Now it's 52 yes. Here they come.
While I vote, I do want to say hello and shout out Liam and Gino from the Everything New York Jets podcast. They were gracious enough to have me on earlier this evening. We had a phenomenal talk. Great guys, dude. So if you're not following them, do a favor, hit the thumbs up for them and go subscribe to their page as well.
Good dudes. Everything New York Jets in the house.
That's right.
All right. So we're going to end this poll. It's ended right now. Let's see where it ends. 52% say take the trade. Oh my goodness. All right. We're having some fun tonight. Okay, guys. So we're going to pull this trade up. Let's try to see if we can get a little counter action. I want them to throw in maybe 195. Let's see if we can get that. Hey! We snuck in a little late pick action. So now, guys, remember, we're going to be sliding back. We'll have 2 consecutive picks. There they go. Oh, there goes all kinds of fun, guys. Oh, my God, I saw all the names. All right. So we have another trade offer. I'm going to executively step in right now and say, no, we cannot continue. We're going to
third round trades are done.
All right. So, guys, quickly, just so we know, this is who we took. We got ourselves a little Broderick Jones action. Now we have picks 67, 68, and 74. So this is what we're going to call a burst. We're going to have a burst of influx of talent. Let's see who's on the board here before we make any polls. Okay. Oops, there we go.
There's a couple interesting names right here, Bean.
Okay, we got safety Christopher Smith.
We all love Christopher Smith. Hendon Hooker is very interesting now that we have that extra third rounder, right, guys? Very interesting.
I don't know. So, all right, you see that Christopher Smith is up there. We also have Marvin Mims, wide receiver. I'd love to have a whole bunch of Mimses on the team. Wouldn't you, Dom? Wouldn't that be fun? Whole bunch of Mimses.
He's a good wide receiver, a little bit slight. I think I think he's going to be a better pro than he was even in college. Look, you still got some good guys on the board. Maybe the trade down wasn't that bad of an idea.
Yeah,
I thought I voted no.
Well, look, I think we have to keep center in mind, guys. Right now, they're not popping up on PFN's big board, but that doesn't mean that they're not still there. So let's take a look real quick, and then I'm going to throw a poll up there. Let's look at the centers. Luke Weipler and Ricky Stromberg are both there. Luatimi
Joe
is
Tippmann,
still there.
All four of those guys, I think, are going to be really good pros, man.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with any of those guys.
So, okay, now this is going to be exciting. Okay, now we have 3 picks in the next 6 or 8 picks, all right? So we're going to be able to make some noise here. I'm going to go ahead. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do a poll. I'm going to throw up some positions. Literally the way it ends in the poll is the way we're going to do it. You know what I mean? So the next 3 picks,
okay,
we're going to have some fun. We're going to do it differently. So here we go. The next 3 picks, the way that it's going to go, guys, however it lands in this poll is the way we're going to do it. All right. So we have center, we have safety, we have interior defensive line. I'll just put defensive line. And dare I throw quarterback up there? Do I do that?
Listen, here's the deal. Okay, here's the deal, Bean. People like Hendon Hooker. People like the idea of Hendon Hooker, and the guy's he's a talented athlete. Okay, there's pros and cons. Right now I think the cons outweigh the pros. In the fact that he's a 25-year-old rookie. He's coming off of an ACL injury, so he's not going to play this season, and he comes from an offense that does not translate very well into the NFL. Their concepts and their spread and moving all people all over the place, it just doesn't translate well. All right, but talent is talent, and with an extra pick that we have in the 3rd round here, you have the ability to kind of throw a dart and see if it sticks. So I think you can make an argument either way.
All right. It's not enough. It's not enough for me. I can't do it. I hear you. You're making so much sense, but I'm going to put linebacker instead. There it is. I couldn't do it.
That's fair.
You got to consider the argument. All right, guys, the poll's up there. So center right now has 100% of the votes. Now is at 64. Dom, go ahead and get your vote in there as well. Very, very important vote. This Dom C fella. And that's the way it's going to go. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this lands. So look, we have some centers here. We'll go back to the big board. We have safeties, Christopher Smith. We also have, I saw Brandon Joseph is still up there, but let's take a look at the safeties. Yeah. Maybe there's a guy that we like better. That's not as high. Jair Brown's up there still.
Sidney Brown, Jamie Robinson. They're still playing. Ronnie Hickman. There's still some good guys.
And if you're really bummed about losing Jimmy Ward, maybe we can land a Jay Ward later on. Maybe we do that. Make you happy.
Right. Yeah.
The defensive tackles. One of your favorites is up there, right here.
Ooh, he is.
I think he's honestly. I would feel like we did a disservice if he wasn't one of the 3 picks. That's what I would say.
He's that special of a player. I agree with you. Although there's still, Keanu Benton, they dropped down really, really far. Wow. To 101, they're ranking.
You know what's funny? I looked into Keanu Benton. We did a little bit of breakdown action, and Dom did a really good job of breaking down Keanu Benton for us. And hold on a second. Yeah, I took a look at him, and it's interesting. I'm seeing like late, mid to late second, all the way to the fourth round for him. So it's kind of it's interesting to see everybody's perspective on some of these players. Some people love him, and some people are thinking, he's going to be there.
Yeah, he's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, because in college, everything that he put on film is really your typical one tech nose tackle, where stout against the run, didn't do a lot against the pass, but that scheme that they ran in Wisconsin was all predicated by the linebackers just having free movement. So he two-gapped and was asked to keep guys off of those linebackers so that they can roam free.
There
But
it is.
Yeah, DJ, how about that? He's another guy I really like. You want to flip over while the poll's up, and we'll make our third round selection here?
All right, we'll do it. All right, I'm going to give this poll one more minute. Currently, center's at 69%, safety is at 14%, and defensive line is at 10%. Get your votes in, because the way it's going to go is the top three are going to be the next three picks. You see what I'm saying, everybody? You see what I'm saying? It's going to be in that order. That's how we're going to do it. We'll go over and jump over to our other mock. Here it is.
And just a reminder, we have taken Jackson Smith-Njigba, the wide receiver from Ohio State, and we've taken the interior offensive lineman, Steve Avila from TCU.
Nice.
So here's our big board, Bean. We talked about the tackle, and I think we just take Blake Freeland and move on.
See that? Now, and exactly. Now, you guys can see how much sense that made. We didn't lose much value going down from, where we were in the second to this next pick, but we would have lost some value potentially. I mean, Weipler's still there, but Avila's gone, would have been gone, I'd say. So, this is kind of the things you have to try to balance when you're looking at your board.
Yeah.
It's not just position, right?
Of the tackles that were on the board when we took Avila, Jalen Duncan from Maryland, Bergeron from Syracuse. Bergeron's it probably was the best, but the difference between Bergeron and Freeland isn't all that great. So, I think I think with what we were dealing with, we made the right decision. I'm going to go ahead and take Blake Freeland, and we got our off interior, we got our tackle as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. Okay, we're going to slide on back. We're crushing it over there. In a weird way, and interesting. It's a different avenue, right? It's exciting. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just excited that it's different. Maybe that's all it is.
It's so nice to not take Skoronski or Jones or so on and so forth. And again, I'm not saying I don't like those guys or wouldn't take them, but we can do that. We do this mock every week, and it's Skoronski and John Michael Schmitz, or it's Jones and this guy at center, so on and so forth. So I'm glad the chat decided to change it up with a trade down, and look, it still worked out because you still got great guys on the board.
Now, this is interesting because currently we have center at 63%, but we have a tie, guys. Get your votes in. Safety and linebacker are locked at 14%, and defensive line is sliding. That's down to 9% now.
Wow.
So Cansey would be gone. We would not be grabbing Cansey or Benton or any of the guys that we like from the defensive line group, at least not this time around. So center is going to be part of the mix. So with that said, we could, I'll put the center board up there for you guys, and I'm going to, now what's that? Oh, wow. Defensive line is making a comeback, Dom.
Yeah. Keep getting those votes in, guys. We got to break this tie.
Right. So let's take a look. These are the centers. This is what we're looking at here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably, maybe we do a 4-man, right? We do Tippmann, Weipler, Stromberg, and they see 3, right?
You could put 4 in there. I mean, listen, all 4 of those guys, I think we'd be very happy with if they were the pick and they were end up Jets. So I think this one you can justify having 4.
So T Money is saying Rodgers just tweeted. We got to give us some more. T Money, what is it? Rodgers just tweeted what, buddy? What? Help us. What is it? Anybody want to check it out? Let's see. Aaron Rodgers, what's he tweeting?
I got you. Let's see. I don't know if I follow Aaron Rodgers, so I got to go look.
I don't think I do either. There he is. Okay, let's take a look. Aaron Rodgers just tweeted. He said, please take a minute to watch this if you can. That's from November 21st. That's not it.
Soul.
What's
That's
that
what he
mean?
tweeted. Soul. I don't know.
Soul. What's that mean to you, T-Money? What does it mean? There it is. He's right. That's literally what he said. All right, guys, I'm going to end the poll no matter where it is. We're just going to see. Oh, my God, it's moving all over the place. This is crazy.
I know what it is. I think he's responding to Rasul Douglas when he tweeted a picture. He tweeted a picture earlier of him, Rasul Douglas, the defensive back for Green Bay, a black and white photo of him standing next to Aaron Rodgers looking all, starry-eyed and lovey-dovey at each other. So I think he's responding to Rasul Douglas. So it's not Sul, it's Sewell.
Rasul. All right. I like it. You're a very smart man. Dom C with the investigative chops. All right. Look, guys, look at this poll. Look at what we did here. So we have center at the top, defensive line and linebacker push safety out of the mix.
Wow.
So this is what we're going to do. So the first pick is going to be the center, right? So let's get, this is what we got. We're going to do these in 1 minute. These are 1 minute polls. Okay. Center for the first pick for 67. Then we'll have, of course, nobody picks before us. We go ahead right into the next one. So we have Tipman. We have Weipler, Jets fan, everybody. We got some Stromberg action. And then we have a Luatimi. And the poll is active. All right. I know they're like, I just voted. Why the hell I got to vote again? This is what it is. We got to keep going. So we're going to get our center going.
Who's your choice, Bean? If you had these four, who's your choice?
I'm taking Weipler.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's who I'm taking. I like Stromberg.
I like them all. I like them all, but I think Weipler is the best fit for our offense. He's rock solid, moves in space very well. He's built for that outside zone blocking scheme, man.
Yeah. So, guys, get your votes in. Right now, Weipler's crushing it with 74%. We want to gather up our Jets fans. There is a little something, Dom. I know it's really, look, it's not the most important thing in the world, but there's a little something. When they get to come to their childhood team, there's that little bit extra that they want to succeed, right? Am I wrong here?
I listen, how many times have you, when you were a kid, did you have that dream that said, oh, man, I'm going to play middle linebacker for the Jets, or I'm going to play third base for the Mets, or, I'm going to play point guard for the Knicks or whatnot. We all had it. Everybody had it. Imagine them getting to live it. You got to feel that there's something more to it. You got to feel that you've been blessed that much more, and everything's going to work out. So yes, I agree with you. I think there's something a little bit more if you actually get the chance to live out a childhood dream. Now, we know that Weipler's a Jet fan.
Yeah.
There's another one who came out at the combine saying that grew up a huge Jet fan.
Oh, who is it?
Riley Moss, the defensive back from Iowa. Another Jet fan.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, this poll's going to end. Weipler is the pick. Now, again, defensive line is up next. Nobody picks before us, so we don't even have to worry about any of our guys being off the board.
That's right.
Luke Weipler is a Jet. Oh, but we have a trade. I didn't even see that.
We're not taking him. We're not taking him third round.
I guess so. This is a nice little trade action here, but all right, we will. All right, so now we have defensive line. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and put the defensive line up here for your viewing pleasure. Okay, so I'm going to grab these first three guys. I know I said defensive line, but let's just stick with the interior for simplicity's sake. So here we go. Yeah. Another 1 minute poll. We got the D line pick. And
this one shouldn't take too long, guys.
Yeah. We got Young. Sorry here. All right, and we got little Benton. I can tell you what, though, I really do like Benton. I really do.
There's a lot to like.
Yeah.
There's a lot to
like. All right, guys. It's up there. We'll give it 1 minute. I know everybody's saying, Cansey's the pick. And, man, I think that's where we kind of are, but I got to give it to you. I can't just make an assumption because, hey, shit, I thought safety was going to win the poll outright. So what the hell do I know what you guys Continually surprise me. Now, while that poll is up,
Flip
minute
over.
we're gonna switch over right on
Yep.
to
And
the other mock.
And we have our second third round pick that we acquired in the trade down with Washington.
Wow,
Again,
that's right.
Again,
Let's
being
do it.
just refreshing you, Jackson Smith and Jigba, the wide receiver, Steve Avila, the interior lineman, and Blake Freeland, the offensive tackle. So the world is our oyster. We can go whichever way we want. And here's the big board. We got Nathaniel Dell, which we probably don't look for another wide receiver right now. Dorian Williams, an outstanding linebacker, one of my favorites in the class.
Yeah.
You got Isaiah McGuire, is a great edge.
Well, Dorian Williams will be a selection most likely in the next poll because linebacker is coming up next. That's going to be our next position via the poll that we just had a few moments ago. So what are we thinking, Dom? What do you got here?
You know what? I wanted to see what's here in the defensive interior because I still think that's a sneaky need for us.
It is.
Moro Jomo's a really good player. This is probably a little too rich, but he's a little bit on the lighter side, kind of like Yancey, more of a slasher, more of a affects the game in the pass rush sense than he does, kind of anchored down against the run. Outside of that, I mean, Jacqueline Roy's a good guy. There's your favorite, Keandre Coburn.
That's right. There he is.
So I'm thinking there. I'd like to see what we have in the safety board here as well. JL Skinner, Jair Brown, Ronnie Hickman, Brandon Joseph. There's still some good safeties here. Yeah, and let's look at the linebacker room. And then I'm going to leave it to you, Bean. I'm going to let you pick this one. You got Williams. You got Pace.
Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. So, and who do we pick? So we got Avila and
Blake Freeland.
And Njigba. All right. We're crushing it. Okay. You know what? Give me the big board.
Here's the big board.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, I'm behind. I was looking at it on YouTube, so I'm behind. All right. There you are. You know what? Here, scroll to the top again. You know what? I like the idea of Dorian Williams. I'm kind of, we re-signed Quincy, but we also traded for Chuck Clark and Jordan Whitehead still on the team. I like the idea of, I like Dorian Williams. That's what I like.
Me too.
Yeah,
and he's that perfect chase and tackle kind of will linebacker, what you want with excellent pass coverage ability. So Dorian Williams, welcome to the team.
All right, there he is. I'm going to switch over, guys, and end the poll. It's Cansey all day, every day. Hey, look, Young got some votes, as did Benton. Good stuff, guys. I love seeing a wide array of goody gumdrops, but Cansey is the guy. We are rocking it. This draft is strong, everybody. This is a strong one. So, look, we have an opportunity to trade here. I know we said we want, I got to stick to it. We're not trading late because they start offering crazy stuff. This is a good trade too. Let me see what the next one is. I'm curious. Slide back 4 spots. All right. So the next one is linebacker, guys. Okay. So this is what we did.
Jack Campbell.
Look at that.
And look, there's still some good linebackers on here. These top 6 right here are all in play.
All right, but we got to make a poll, and we have 4 selections, Dom. So talk to me because I can't see it. So
I'm gonna give you Jack Campbell as 1. I'm gonna give you DeMarvion Overshone as 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you Dayon Henley as 3. And although I like Ivan Pace, I'm going to give you Mohamed Diabate because there's a lot of interest already that is real in Mohamed Diabate. The Jets were very much involved with him at the Shrine Bowl. So,
okay, guys, the poll is up. We are crushing this draft. This is going to get a bunch of A+, I foresee. I know it. I can feel it, Dom. So the poll is up there. We're going to grab our linebacker. While we're doing that, very quickly, I'm going to show you what we got so far. All right. We got Broderick Jones, Luke Weipler, and Kalijah Cansey. Not a bad start, my good friends.
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm happy with this one. This is pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be our linebacker pick. Again, we got Jack Campbell up there, DeMarvion Overshone, Diane Henley, and Muhammad Diabate, or Diabate, I think you say it.
Diabate, yeah.
Yeah. So, no Dennis, no Pace. That's fine. I actually like Ivan Pace, too. I was watching him. This week.
And he's really good. I just think, of the guys that are on the board, Pace is the least likely to be a scheme fit for what, the linebacker that fits in a solid scheme.
Okay. Oh, they're in the Beanbagger Discord is rocking. They're arguing about rookie center behind Aaron Rodgers. He might not come, they're saying, because we didn't grab a vet center. What do you guys think of that? I also see there's a Joey B. I see has a nice question up here. We're going to talk about this. We'll take a second and talk about this, Joey B, in just a few moments. Okay. I'll get back to you. I see you. So let me look at this poll. We're going to end it. It is Jack Campbell. We got a nice little group of votes, 61 votes. And that was quick. Thank you for being so quick, guys. It's better when it's that way. It works better if we're all involved. Eric Craig says Bean is hoping for Calvin. Which Calvin? What do you mean, Eric? Who's Calvin? Tell me. Calvin Pace? I think that's where he's going. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take him. Well, who
Jack
won?
Campbell. Jack Campbell won.
Jesus, I
For the
forgot.
hand.
I forgot. In that 8 seconds, I forgot. Totally. I even forgot what position it was in that 8 seconds. All right, guys, we are at pick 112, and we're fresh. So let's just read real quick. So we got ourselves an offensive tackle. We got ourselves a center. We got an interior defensive lineman and a linebacker. Nice and even, Dom. Look at that.
So
defense and offense.
I'm thinking wide receiver's got to be an option. I'm thinking safety's got to be an option.
Yep.
And then we can take, dealer's choice for the rest of them.
Right.
What do you think? Let me ask you this, Bean. What are your thoughts on us taking a running back, assuming that we don't bring one in via the free agency route? What are your thoughts on taking another running back? We know that Breece Hall, there's a chance he's not going to start the season. He may start on the PUP. And even if he doesn't, he's not going to be at 100% all season long.
Here's what I'll say. I was actually, not blown away, but I have to admit I was a little surprised at how quickly we just decided to get rid of Robinson. I don't know. I don't get it. You know what I mean? I don't understand. I think it's like, why not keep him? He's going to be cheap. He's a solid NFL running back. Maybe he rubbed them all wrong with that whole, I was pissed. Remember that article last year? He said he was pissed.
Yeah.
So anyway, the fact that we're not bringing him back leads me to, I'm a little more considerate of the idea of maybe bringing in a running back. That said, it could just be because they still like Ty. You know what I mean? So they would have Breece Hall, Bam Bam Bigelow, Michael Carter II, and Ty Montgomery. Ty Johnson. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like that could be it. And that's not a bad stable. It really isn't. It's a solid stable.
It's solid. It's solid. I'm not going to disagree. I just don't know about Ty Johnson. Like we could have signed him already. We could have re-signed him, even before today, and we haven't. So that to me tells me that there's something else brewing. Either they know how deep this running back class is, and they're going to go ahead and bring another guy in and kind of utilize Bam Bam as more of your special teams ace, kind of step in for Braxton Berrios, which
totally
he excelled at NC State. He led the nation in punt returns his senior year, so on and so forth.
And he did a little bit of it for us too. Remember, he got in that one game and he ran one back like 70 yards, whatever the hell it was. Remember that?
Yeah. Or you could draft another. Like I said, this running back class is flush with talent. So maybe they're just not. Maybe Ty is like their distant option, their fallback plan. But I'm not opposed to taking a running back. Maybe not here, but I'm not opposed to taking one. Period.
I threw him on the list for you anyway, so we're good. All right. So this is our group right now. We have wide receiver with 26%, safety coming around the mountain with 38%, edge has 21%, and running back is holding up the back end with 15%.
Come on, guys, get those votes in. We only have 41 in.
Yeah, let's do it. last one, the last couple were great, man. You guys went real quick. We got into the high 60s and 70s on votes. So that's really good. Now,
Yeah.
I see people talking. We mentioned it earlier. It is, in fact, true. Mike B. Hi-ho. Where the hell is he? He's reminding us that JFM did, in fact, restructure today, everybody. So that's a really good thing to see. Joe Douglas is making money all over the place. You know, like look, this is what I'm going to say. It shows that the team believes, right? They're all willing to move things. Like, look, some of these guys signed these contracts last year. DJ Reed, CJ Uzoma, Lakin Tom. Well, Lakin didn't restructure yet. So, well, DJ
Yes,
Reed, he
did.
did. Okay, I thought, all right,
He
there
did.
it was. So you got those three guys, dude. They just signed their contract last year, and they're already willing to move it around a little bit. That, to me, speaks volumes on where they think the team is. If they didn't feel like it was an actual benefit to the team, if they were all going to be able to reap the reward, they'd say no. I'm not doing it, dude. We just signed it. Either do that or, you know, take it or cut me or whatever, you know, like Braxton Berrios kind of did.
Yeah. Well, there's another side to that argument too, is that they're not losing money. You know,
No,
you're just saying, here, we're going to give it to you in one lump sum as opposed to over 18 game checks.
I know it is hard to, it's like, hey, how about I give it all to you right now? That's hard to, like, you know what, I'm in. I'll take it.
I wonder how much Uncle Sam affects that with a lump sum payment as opposed to breaking it down.
That's a good question. It's a good question. Hopefully their accountant knows that it's to their benefit. All right, let me close this down. Hold on, where is it? All right. And I'll look at the poll, and then we're going to jump over to the PFN or PFF. Right now, safety's got it. So
Lock, stock, and barrel, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll start the safety poll. Let me get the safeties up here for your viewing pleasure. Look at this.
Ooh.
Okay. Yep. Right up top.
Oh man.
Okay. But who do you like? Hickman. I like. I might want to put Jay Ward over Torrance. Would you believe?
Yeah.
Would you agree? Not believe.
I would agree. I'm not. I'm not very very high personally. I'm not very high on either of the Florida safeties. I think they both play a little redundant to the guys that we have. Sidney Brown and Hickman are two guys that I happen to like a lot, and I think they offer a different skill set. They have a lot more range than the two Florida guys. And Jay Ward is he's a wild card. I mean, I know he's a little bit down there in regards to his PFN ranking, but he's a very good player, very talented guy. Was an outside cornerback in the beginning of his career in LSU, so he's got that legitimate man coverage. He's got good, smooth back pedal, good loose hips. He's a guy that's going to probably one of those guys that's going to be a better pro than he was in college.
I agree, and I love that versatility. It's one of the reasons that I like him a little bit. What about Trey Dean? I'm going to throw Trey Dean up there. And so wait. I got here's what I got: Brown, Hickman, Dean, and Ward.
Yeah.
All right, Brown. Yep, that's what I got. All right, it's up there. Let's give it 1 minute and 14 seconds. Okay, everybody? That's all you get. You want your vote to count? Go ahead and put it up there. I'll show you the new emoji. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. The new stream beaner emoji is live in charge right there before your eyes. Okay. All right, let me switch over for you, Dom.
Yeah.
We'll get over to the other mock here.
And we're in the 4th round here.
Tigo's in the house. Want to say hello to you, Tigo. He feels like getting cancy there is robbing with in the Federal Exchange. Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
We've had a good draft in PFN, and we have a different one here in PFF. Not bad. It's just different. So again, rehashing, what was our last pick? We took Dorian Williams, the linebacker. We also secured Steve Avila. We also secured Blake Freeland and Jackson Smith-Njigba. So our big board looks like this. There's a cornerback, a very small cornerback, cousin of LaDainian Tomlinson up at the top. Dwayne McBride, a very underrated running back. Moro Jomo is still there. Isaiah McGuire, a very good flexible edge. He's a guy that can bounce inside outside. Think Michael Clemens, very similar skill set. Parker Washington, love that guy. Ivan Pace is here, but we've already taken the linebacker spot in this draft. So Ronnie Hickman, he's a safety here. Keandre Colburn's still here. Sean Tucker, very underrated running back. Dealt with
I like the idea of Hickman, but I also love Coburn. I think Coburn is perfect for where we are currently in our defensive line needs. I just think he's perfect. But I do like the idea of Hickman. I also think I saw
Jair Brown.
Jair, right. Yep. So who are you going to grab out of those guys?
Listen, I mean, I think the two Texas interior, I'm with you. I want to go towards the interior defensive line. And you have the two Texas guys. They're completely polar opposite guys. Coburn is your run stuffer, your traditional one tech. Moro Jomo is your traditional three tech slasher, like I talked about briefly. He can also bounce outside in certain situations and be a true run stuffing edge setter in certain schemes and so on and so forth. I think Keandre Coburn is going to be a 2-down player. So there's that. You don't get as much flexibility of him.
It does make room for JFM to come inside and put Bryce Huff on the outside, though.
It does.
I like it.
And then there's Jared Clark, who's my little sleeper of this draft class. He's a huge man. He's of the size of who's the kid that went last year from Georgia, Davis, went to the Philadelphia Eagles. He's a really, really big guy. He's your true traditional one tech guy. But I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with the Bean favorite, and we're gonna take Keandre Coburn and move on.
Yeah, well done. I like it. I love your process. Everything was great. It's great to observe, Dom. See? Yeah. All right. So we're gonna get back to our other PFN mock. I'm gonna close down the poll. Let's see. We got Sidney Brown took it home. Good pick, guys.
That's the right pick, guys.
Yep. All right. Dom C approved. Let's go ahead and bring him in from Illinois. There he comes.
Illinois does a phenomenal job. I was just talking about this on the Everything Jets podcast. Illinois does a ridiculously good job in getting NFL caliber defensive backs, getting their college players ready for the NFL. Think about it. They have two guys in Witherspoon and Sidney Brown who are probably going to be day 1, day 2 picks this year. Last year, they had the safety. He went to Detroit. His name's skipping my mind. Tony Adams was another guy. They do it right over there at Illinois.
Illinois, I agree. I love those. I love Iowa. I love Illinois. They got good programs.
Yeah.
All right, guys, here just quickly, we're at pick 195, which, if you remember, was the bonus pick that we asked them to throw in one of the trades that we made. So this one is a free pick. This is an extra card, an extra dart. So we already took Broderick Jones, tackle, Luke Weipler, center, Kalijah Cansey, defensive tackle, Jack Campbell, linebacker, and Sidney Brown, the safety. So we have 2 picks left. What are we thinking? We didn't really grab a wide receiver yet in this draft.
We did not.
So we'll throw one of those. I'm going to put that we got, we can double up on other positions. I can throw running back up there.
Mm-hmm.
We can never have too many linemen, if you want to think that way. So I'm going to make the poll and let you kind of process it. I see Gitmo Bob's in the market for a wide receiver. I think I'm leaning your way, Bob. Oh, I wrote Bob instead of next pick. Okay. Pick 195. Okay, so we got wide receiver. We have, what else did I say? I already forgot everything. I'm going to put running back up there, but what else we thinking, Dom?
Listen,
Cornerback?
put quarterback up there and put edge.
Well, I said cornerback. Do you think cornerback or I don't know?
I'm looking at Jake Hainer, and I think this is probably the realm where you're gonna take a shot and throw a dart on a developmental quarterback if you wanted to.
Right, if you did. All right, it's coming on. It's coming on to your screen. It is live as of right now.
And
it's official.
Jason Zayas, I'm going to answer. I see in the chat you asked me a question. What do you think of PJ Mustipher, the defensive tackle from Penn State? I'll tell you what I think of him. I think he's a big body. I think he's anchors very well and he stands up good against the run. But similar to the PFF draft, like Keandre Coburn, I think he is a 2-down player at best. He's got some development. He's very raw against the pass rush, but he is a big body that takes up space, can two gap if you ask him to. This is the range where you're going to see a guy like Mustafa come off the board. Round 5, round 6, so on and so forth. So not my favorite. He's not on my draft guide. Didn't make my top 10 in the defensive tackle position, but that's just me.
Right. Well, look, I put this question up there real quick. We don't have to spend too much time on it, but I did want to give it a little bit of life here. If you look what we have here, he says, this is Joey B. He says, the Jets are working on a 3-team trade. I find this to be interesting. Now, we have no proof. It's just a conversation piece. We get Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. They get our first, second, and third this year and first next year. But they figure out who gets what picks. So what teams are we? So clearly the Raiders are involved, right? So we'd have the Packers, the Raiders, and the Jets. The Jets are given picks, but we get Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. The specific details I laid out aside. Is this of interest to you? Is this something that you'd like to see the Jets work on if this was available, getting Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, but losing some picks?
How do you say no to it? I think it's far. It's a very, very, very far reach. But of course, if I can bring Davante Adams in here, you'd be silly not to.
Yeah, I see Michael Murphy in the house. Good to see you, Michael. I also see Fat Gandalf flying high. Smash that like button. Good to see you guys. Fat Gandalf with the super chat. He says, Dom, who is this year's Michael Clemens? Do you see one of those guys?
I talked about Isaiah McGuire before. I think he's a guy that's underrated. He's much more refined in his pass rush skills than Michael Clemens is, but he's got that versatility that he can play inside and outside, bigger body. He's done it standing on 2 feet. He's done it from the 3-tech position. He's done it from the 5-tech position. I think he's a very versatile piece. He's not going to be the best, but he's also not going, he's got kind of a high floor, lower ceiling kind of player, which in reality, sometimes those are the kind of guys you got to target. You're not going to have, you can't have a team that has all high ceiling and low floor guys, right? You got to have some of the workman like people in there. And that's what I think Michael Clemens is. And I target Isaiah McGuire to be very similar. Isaiah McGuire doesn't have kind of like the fear factor that Michael Clemens puts into you.
Yeah, look at that face. Look at him.
He's a mean mofo.
Isn't he just the best? Because look how mean and intimidating he really is. Look at his makeup. Look at his body, his chest, his arms. But then he's got a delightful smile, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's like amazing. This guy's amazing. I love Michael Clemens. All right, guys. So the poll is up. Excuse me. Gitmo Bob wants to know how we're going to pay him. Well, Bob,
that's right. You're right. You're spot on, Gitmo. You probably
Here's
not.
the thing. Here's what I'll say. They'll always find a way. They will. They'll figure it out, man. And I'll tell you what, with all these restructures, because Bob, we've been talking about it. This is the first offseason that we don't have an abundance, right, of cap space and draft picks. Joe Douglas has done a very specific job up to this point, tearing the team down, acquiring draft assets for players, all those kinds of things, obviously making draft picks and trades and everything. But this is the first year that he has a lot of the core in place and no money. You know what I mean? So we got to figure this out. And we're seeing all of a sudden out of nowhere, a general manager that reworked more contracts in this little short period of the offseason than I think we've ever seen in an offseason before.
Yeah.
Do you recall an offseason where 5-6 players were reworked in a 3-4 day period, Dom?
No, I haven't. And I think this is a testament to Joe Douglas, the general manager, because what he's doing in renegotiating this stuff, he's pushing some of the money down the road. But
right.
You know what? Next year and the year after, we are flush with cap space. You got to take into account that some of these contracts are going to be coming up. The AVTs of the world, and
sure.
Do you re-sign Mackay and all those big names are going to start coming up. But as of right now, you are flush with cap. So he's saying, okay, let's free up some space right now. We got plenty of room next year. We can worry about next year. Like I think Laken Tomlinson is a perfect example. Laken Tomlinson next year counts on the books over $21 million. He hasn't played in his short Jets tenure as a $21 million guard. But it's a price that, you can, it's a price that you can pay because you have such flexibility in cap space. So you could, even if you decide to cut him, you can free up $11 million. You take the lumps for $7 million on dead cap.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's perfect. It's perfect. He's proving that he has yet another skill set, guys. Our general manager, he can figure this end out as well, and I love him. I think it's fantastic to watch. We're not like that team that's stuck. You know what I mean? We're not stuck, and it's really great to see. I'm going to end this poll. Wide receiver took it home, Dom. Wide receiver took it home. End poll. There it is. So let me get the wide receivers up there for us. See what we got here. Oh, say his name again, because once again,
Andre Ishevis.
Ishevis. I just can't do it. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, so we're starting another poll here.
Mm-hmm.
This is our last pick. Oh, no, it's pick 190. Wait a minute. This is pick 195.
We got two. We got two more. This one and one more.
Okay, so wide receiver. All right, guys. So we'll put Ishevis up there.
Dante Demas
Dante
Demas is a very interesting prospect himself. He's a tall guy. He's kind of built with he's got that height, weight, speed that you'd like to see in a receiver. Think Mims. A lot of the same measurables. He's another guy. Elijah Higgins, I think, is an underrated player.
Okay, we'll put him
he's
up there.
not the fastest, he's not going to force separation on there, but he's a big, reliable target, sure hands. He can play that big slot. He even did some reps over at tight end in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, very nice. All right, so give me a fourth.
I don't like any of these guys, to be honest with you, Bean. I'd keep.
I can go further down, and again, it doesn't matter where they have them. It doesn't mean like if they have them at 304, it doesn't mean we don't love them. You know what I mean?
Jalen Wayne. Trey Tucker. There's a different. Trey Tucker's your slot guy. Jalen Wayne's an interesting prospect. Smaller school, South Alabama, but 6'1". He's very good separator at the, he's run a full route tree. He can force separation. He's an interesting guy. So Trey Tucker's your super quick slot guy, gonna help on special teams.
How did he do in the combine? I forgot to to make a note.
You know what? He didn't run as fast as I thought he was going to run. But it's funny because none of the, there was a big to do about the combine. I don't know if you caught wind of it, Bean, but they said that the times, even though they were official, they were really slow. They don't know if that was everything just seemed to be a fraction or two fractions of a second slower, because you had a lot of guys that ran, like for instance, Kayvon Merriweather, who is a 4.5 guy. He ran in the 4.6s. Brian Branch ran in the 4.6s, almost 4.7. They're faster than that. But they said all day that the clock was just a little bit slower. So Tucker ran in the high 4.4s, and I think he's probably more of a lower 4.4 guy. Probably pushing 4.3. So yeah, if you want to take Jalen Wayne or Tucker,
it's already out there. Yeah, I already did it. I put him up there.
All right.
Now, William Pineda with a great point, everybody. How do we feel about the fact that Zach Wilson is going to give hell to A-Rod? Remember? That's what he said. Whoever's here, I'm going to give him hell. Remember that?
He did say that.
He said it. I'm going to give him hell. Everybody's like, oh, Zach, just stop it. You know what I mean? Just bow and back, walk. Just thank you. I had a rough year. Let's see how it goes. You don't need to say anything. If you were going to do that, then you should have did it in all the games that we had you out there.
Yeah.
You know, but poor Zach, he's just confused. He's all twisted up in knots, poor little fella. Kareem Carson is insinuating here, well, with bold capitals, that at 11:30 in the night, the news is broken that Rodgers to the Jets from Fowler. Now, is that real?
Is that
doubt
real?
it. I don't think it can be. Imagine that. Like he waits till like the wee hours of the night to announce it. Let me see.
Connor Hughes just said, I have an update on where things officially stand with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, what's he saying?
Watch SNY tonight.
Night, that means tomorrow, right?
No, well, this was a half hour ago. Then Paul Boy Green Edson just kind of tweeted out some comments from the Connor Hughes on SNY saying, have been legitimate rumors and murmurs that Aaron Rodgers is beginning to talk to other unrestricted free agents about joining him in New York with the Jets. We are going to have, when you said that, I think we are going to have an answer tomorrow.
When you said that, how I heard that was Aaron Rodgers is talking to other teams. That's what I heard. I was like, oh no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if that happens, then there's a reason for that to happen. So anyway, let's just fucking forget that. It never happened. I made it up with my own damaged PTSD and traumatic childhood. That's what happened. Sorry, say that again. So who is saying this and what was it again?
Paul Boy Green tweeted out quotes from Connor Hughes, who was on his show on SNY at 11 p.m. Connor Hughes, and I quote, there has been legitimate rumors and murmurs that Aaron Rodgers is beginning to talk to other unrestricted free agents about joining him in New York with the Jets. I think we're going to have an answer tomorrow.
I like it. I trust that Boy Green guy to find the little nooks and crannies of information. So there it is. Boy Green, who's going to be our guest this Thursday on the Thursday.
Is he really? That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm working on another one to like split the show because we do like 1 hour guest spots generally. But yeah, Boy Green's going to be with us for an hour. And I'm working on somebody else now. And then the following week, I think we have Ali coming in. We got a whole bunch of guests. And then, of course, Connor Hughes will be doing his makeup show with us the moment the Aaron Rodgers thing is resolved. So that's his promise to me. So as soon as it's done, we'll do it. Okay, I'm going to end this poll.
Before you end the poll, flip over and let's make our pick here. We're in round 5.
Oh, right on. Let's do that. All right, guys, get your votes in. Just a few more moments. New York Sports Wicker Media, that's WA2K, reminding Kareem that he's lying about this one. Nice. Don't let that shit fly around in here, WA2K. The caps and everything. Kareem trying to make us feel stuff this late at night.
Yeah. So here we are, Bean. We the last pick we took your boy, Keandre Coburn. So we shored up the defensive line. We got 2 offensive linemen. We have a linebacker and a wide receiver. So we don't have a safety. Let's see what's on the board here.
Yeah, let's take a look.
We got Trey Dean. We have Daniel Scott, who's a really nice player, but I don't think we have to reach right now. DeMarco Helms is a good safety. He played right alongside those guys in that Alabama defense. He was the true center fielder right next to Jordan Battle. But none of these guys really wet my whistle here. So I'm going to make the executive decision here.
Done it. Do it. Done it.
I'm going to take a running back.
Ooh, look at Dom C.
I'm going to take a running back.
Executive decision with the wackadoodle backdoor action. We're taking a running back.
And I'm going to take one who is he's electric. He's a jitterbug. He's as fast as lightning. And he's going to pay dividends on our special teams right off the bat, as well as in passing situations. Welcome to the team, Deuce Vaughn. Running back from Kansas State.
Yes. Gotta love it. There it is. All right. Okay. Very good. Very good. Deuce Vaughn. All right. I'm going to end this poll. The results have remained. So the Princeton alum is going to be joining the team. So we brought in Weipler. He's a Jets fan. We brought in Yeshivas.
He's from Princeton.
He's from Princeton. We're keeping it hometown action tonight. I like it. So where is it? I got to find the right damn tab. Okay, here he comes, everybody. All right, we got one pick left. One pick 207. Here we are at the end of our draft. Let me show you guys the big board here. We just took a wide receiver.
You're on.
Sorry, that's
flip
offense.
over.
Yep. Let me see. Oh, I didn't flip back over?
Nope.
Oh, shit, man. Come on, man. Sorry, guys. So, hey, MJ Dunn saying, someone tell me why we keep saying we need a tackle. Why don't we kick AVT out to tackle and go for a guard?
Yeah,
I think that's definitely possible.
I disagree. I'm gonna
think it's likely. Right. Go ahead and say why, Dom.
No, you tell me. You speak first.
No, I was saying, I mean, look, he clearly can play it.
Correct.
But I think the needle for him reaching, let's just say being a consistent all pro level guy is more likely going to be on the inside. Yes, he can play it, but it's not really what you want to see him do. I think that if we're looking at optimal impact, AVT is on the inside.
Yeah, listen, it's obvious. We talked about it. I've talked about this with a lot of different guys and a lot of different, avenues and shows and off the record and so on and so forth. And my feelings is exactly that. There's Joe Douglas obviously loves Elijah Vera Tucker. He traded up. He gave up 2 third-rounders to go up to be able to get him. But he targeted him as a guard. Now, it's wonderful that AVT in a pinch stepped up and said, yeah, I'm going to take one for the team. You want me at right tackle? No problem. You want me at left tackle? No problem. And he showed that he can be serviceable, but that's not his role. His role is on the inside for us. And just like you said, although he can play, he showed that he could play both left and right tackle in a pinch. And it's great to know that in a pinch, we can always bump him outside. He's got a much higher, he's got an all-pro ceiling as a guard where he can just, use that sheer power and strength and dominate as a run game mauler as he is. He moves in space very well. He's still short. He's still got shorter arms. He doesn't check off all those boxes that Joe Douglas likes to look at when, he chooses tackles. Think of the tackles that he's taken, right? Mekhi Becton, Max Mitchell, both long, 35-inch arms, tall. Max Mitchell was a little bit light in the pants when he was drafted, but that's not the type of Elijah Vera Tucker's body isn't the type of guy that Joe Douglas says he's my left tackle. Right. No, Joe Douglas says he's my all-pro guard. So I think that he can play. He showed that he can play in a pinch.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't.
That's okay.
Something loud. Can you hear it?
I can't hear anything. I
can't hear you anymore.
You hear me?
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta turn this off. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Could you hear that noise in the background, like my own voice?
No.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right, so I didn't mean to cut you off. I had some technical stuff going on.
I just said there that AVT is a guard. He's a guard who has enough skill set to bounce outside in a pinch and step up and be a team player. But he's a guard.
Right. So that's it. Now look, I think just like with last year, MJ, we saw that the backfill at guard was stronger than the backfill at tackle. We had Connor McDermott on the outside and we had Nate Herbig for the inside. So they made that decision. They'd rather have AVT at tackle and Herbig at guard than AVT at guard and McDermott at tackle. So they made that decision. I think, that's the flexibility that he gives you, but I don't think that they're looking to just make that his position like Dom was saying. So, anyway, okay, I'm going to end this. Did I even start a fucking poll? What positions are we doing? I didn't even start a poll. Holy macaroni. We're getting late here. All right. So we have our last pick. So let's go with O-line. Last pick, right? Maybe we double up at tackle. Okay. We're going to do offensive tackle, interior offensive line. Maybe we get a guard. Maybe we double up at wide receiver, wrap this up that way. And what's the last position, Dom? What do you think we should throw in there? We didn't take a running back over here. You want to throw it in?
We could take a running back. You could justifiably double up on the defensive line or at linebacker. It's whatever. You know, you can make an argument for anything here.
I like that defensive line because we didn't take an edge either. So it could be we'll do defensive line, and if it wins, we will throw in some edges. Yeah. I like it. Well done. Well done. Well done. Okay, so we got our last poll of the night is up, everybody. We got offensive tackle, interior offensive line, wide receiver, and defensive line. So let's get to it. Let's get our votes in. We'll do it quick, man. 1 1/4 minutes.
And flip on over, and I'm going to make the last pick for the PFF.
All right. Dom C is on fire.
So who was our last pick? We took Deuce Vaughn, the running back. So we've covered all the bases and positions here. So we can just look and take best available here. Oh, look at this, Bean.
What do you got?
Look who's here. Mr. Stromberg.
Isn't it funny? Now, let me say this. Like, in my brain, there's no way, right? But the last few years, last year in particular, there was a nice little batch of interior offensive linemen that I thought would be anywhere from 4th to 6th round picks that made it to undrafted free agency.
That's right. Lindstrom was one of them, right? So you got Stromberg. You also have Mohamed Diabate here. D. Winters is another good linebacker. Shouldn't be here. Puka Nacua. So you still got wearing pick 207. Servassier Dennis.
So you see that? This is what's so interesting about using the different sims. Yeah. Because it really is. Their rating systems are all over the place, man. Really.
So I took the last pick, Bean. I'll give you this one. You got names to choose from here. You got Stromberg. You got Diabate. You have D. Winters. You have Puka Nacua. You have Servassier Dennis.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I like Stromberg. I think getting Stromberg here as my final pick would be no problem with that. I love it. We need offensive line.
He's got guard flexibility.
That's
he can
exactly
top it.
Right. Yep.
Or you have Avila who has guard flexibility as well.
So look at that. Look at what we just did for the interior. Now we got AVT, Avila, Stromberg. We're rocking it, man.
That's right.
Anybody goes down, guys can move all over the place. All right, so let's see. What is, the poll is running. So let's just see what we did in this draft. Okay, then we'll compare them later. All right, look at this. Go ahead and read them off to us, Dom.
So we did make that trade where we gained an extra 3rd rounder by moving down 3 spots in the 1st round. We started off with Jackson Smith and Njigba. We then took the guard, Steve Avila, out of TCU with our 2nd round pick. 3rd round, we got the last of what we thought was the tier of tackles in Blake Freeland. Dorian Williams steps into Quan Alexander's role as our weak side linebacker here in the 4th round, or in the 3rd round, that supplemental pick that we got. Keandre Coburn, a big body for the defensive line. 5th round, we got Deuce Vaughn, a little jitterbug running back, special teams ace, and we finished it up with just the steal probably of the draft at 206, Enrique Stromberg.
And they gave us a B- for it.
No, a B. Straight B.
No, that's a B- for
Stromberg. Because their rating, Stromberg was way down there.
It's crazy, right? Like, think about it. If you got Ricky Stromberg at 206, we'd feel like we got the steal of the draft, right? And they gave us a B-.
Yeah, listen,
PFF's funny.
They're gonna, but in reality, just like you said, there's a chance that he falls into the 6th round.
It's the truth.
You know, there's something like that. Like that, you hit it the nail on the head. Who was the center from Boston College who went undrafted? We were all crazy. We were talking about him in the 3rd round.
Oh yeah. Who was that? Holy shit.
He went to Dallas. Yeah, he went to Dallas as an unrestricted free agent.
Oh, I can't find his name. I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't see the name.
Yeah.
Look at Kareem says it's an F draft. I don't know how you can find that. Now, if you don't want to be an A, this is a strong draft, everybody. Now, if you don't like the tackle, okay, you don't like the fact we took him. Okay, I can see it, but I don't think it goes all the way to F.
I haven't seen Kareem ever vote any draft anything more than an F-. So
no, there was that one. There was the one he liked it. There was one I remember Kareem. I think he liked it, but yeah, he's pretty negative as far as with our rating. He doesn't like anything we do. All right, we're going to end this poll. Look at this. It's very, very close. But defensive line comes around the mountain.
Lindstrom, that's it. Alec Lindstrom. Thank you, Matt Marger. You got it.
Yeah, that's the guy. Okay, yeah. Well, no, I was thinking, no, then that's not the guy I was thinking of. There was another guy that we all liked.
Oh yeah, from Arizona
he made-
State. What was his name? Come on, Y2K. I know you're here. Who was the center from Arizona State last year?
All right. We got defensive line over here, though. So we're going to go ahead and look at the defensive line prospects. First, let's take a look at some. Well, PJ Mustafer's still there.
He is. He is.
Wow, look at that. Silver. I'm not familiar with him. Let me see.
Thomas and Coombe. Great talent right there.
Ooh, Carl Brooks. Yep. Wow. Okay. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and make a poll. All right. We'll put, now this is for defensive line. I'll put 2 edges and 2 interiors. We got PJ. Whoop, last pick here. All right. PJ Mustafer. I think that's a very good pick if we were to get him there.
Mhm.
We'll take oh shit, I already forgot. Yeah, Carl, you want to put Carl Brooks in there?
Carl Brooks for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Carl Brooks.
Thomas and Coombe should be there. He's a strong edge rusher, probably more of a pass rush specialist. Donovan West, thank you. Matt Margers on point today, man. Kudos to you for drilling those names. Donovan West is the guy that I specifically liked him a lot. I thought he was a perfect fit.
He's an edge?
No. I'm talking about the center last year that went undrafted. Donovan West from Arizona State is the.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm over here looking. All right, let me see.
Thomas Incoom, right there. Number
Incoom,
14.
I got him. Let me look at. Yeah, we'll find another edge for me here.
Yeah, sure. Keep going. Dylan Horton's okay.
Another TC. Okay, we'll throw Dylan Horton up there. He's okay. Dylan Horton edge. Okay, guys, this is our last poll. So let's get it going. We'll do 1 big fat minute. Okay, I know I said it before and we get distracted, but I'm going to try to hold to it so we can get this done. Currently, there are 0 votes. Dom, get your vote in.
I'm going.
Man.
I'm turning my phone on right now.
All right.
And voting, I do. Boom, done.
Where did Tyler Biadasz go? Wait a minute.
He went to Dallas. He was a 3rd round pick, I believe. Tyler Biadasz. He was a 3rd round pick who everyone talked about being a 1st round pick.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And Donovan West was
pick. 4th round. He was one that slid further than we thought he was gonna.
Donovan West was the guy I was thinking of from Arizona State. I thought he was a perfect zone blocking scheme center. Went undrafted, went to San Francisco for a zone blocking offense, but I believe he was released. I don't think they kept him on the practice squad. And now he's working at In-N-Out, from what I hear. He's the king of the king of the double.
There it is. You know, KFC has that. If you guys haven't had it, it's only special. Like every couple of years, they put it out. It's like the double or something like that. It's like the chicken breasts are the bread. Did you guys have this yet?
No.
Oh, it's rock and roll, dude. You know, look, if you're gonna splurge, let me see this thing. Hold on. All right, we're gonna do this poll another 20 seconds. The double down from KFC. Let's see. I'm going to show you guys what it is. Yeah, look at that. Oh, my God. Look at this friggin' thing. I'm going to show you guys. Oh, I'll show you at the end. Okay, I'll leave it up there. I'll show you guys at the end. It's madness. All right, guys, 5 more seconds. We only have 33 votes, and PJ Mustafer's crushing it.
Wow.
So there it is. I got 2 more votes at the end there. PJ Mustafer is the guy. Good pick, guys. Good pick. He's strong. He's a strong player, and I don't think we can go wrong with it.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
listen, I voted for Carl Brooks. I happen to like Carl Brooks, but in this case, we did take Kalijah Kancey early on, and PJ Mustafer is the exact opposite type of defensive lineman than Kalijah Kancey, so it makes sense.
All right. Well, okay, here we go. So this is the PFN 10 o'clock mock for March 13th, 2023. Okay, we started with tackle Broderick Jones out of Georgia. Then we followed that with center Luke Weipler out of Ohio State, the Jets fan. Then we followed that with defensive tackle Kalijah Kancey out of Pitt. Then we got Jack Campbell, the linebacker out of Iowa. We got ourselves a safety out of Illinois, Sidney Brown. Andre Yeshivas out of Princeton, the wide receiver. And we ended it all up with PJ Mustafa, the defensive tackle out of Penn State. Let's get your letter grades, everybody.
It's a
what
good
do you
draft.
think?
That's a really good draft right there.
I
I
like
like
it
it better than the PFF one, although I do like the PFF one as well. I'm not going to lie. But this has got to be, this is a home run, man. This is a home run. I'm going to give it an A minus. And the only reason I'm not going to give it an A is because I would have taken a different wide receiver other than Yeshivas.
Got it. All right. Well, that's still pretty good, man. Now, MJ Dunn, I want to just tell you, he's asking, when I called into the O'Leary show earlier, I said, I only had a minute because I was making a roasted chicken. Now, I made a lemon thyme chicken. And let me just tell you guys, it was unbelievable. Like, even my son, who's a picky, he was like, oh my God, Dad, this is great. It was so good, so juicy, so perfect. I just couldn't have been happier. The bones were sliding out of it. It was unbelievable, man.
Yes.
Then I made a roasted garlic asparagus that was fucking rock and roll, dude. I crushed it tonight. Crushed it.
Yeah.
All right. So I give this, let me see what these guys, I'll go through their letter grades. I'll wrap it up with mine at the end.
Okay.
You gave it, what was it, a B or an A?
I gave an A minus. A minus.
A minus. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rob V checking in first with a B plus. Cyrus Rubin with an A minus. There you go. Tom Cahill, A plus plus. He likes this one.
Mm-hmm.
Jameson Young says A. Ryan Garcia with the B plus. Mike B with an A minus. Squirmy Weasel with an A. Look at these ratings. I'll tell you. Duncan McLean with a B plus. Matt Marger with an A. Braden, what's up, Braden?
He loves
it. An A plus. Look at that, huh?
I know that Braden loves Jack Campbell. He likes those big old linebackers. I remember from last year too. Devin Lloyd was this guy.
I know, totally, 100%, all day, every day. Devin Lloyd, Jason Zayas with the PFN A, PFF B. Very, okay. I like that. Well done, Kareem. Again, F minus. Just ridiculous. I mean, really, Kareem, I think at this point, you're losing credibility, dude. You can't be an extremist. You know what I mean? And you want people to take you seriously, at least to some degree. Maybe you don't give a shit, but I'm just telling you, no credibility.
Well, last week he was complaining because we took Skoronski and he wanted Broderick Jones. So we took Broderick Jones here. I guess he doesn't like the rest of the guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess not. So much, it's an F. He doesn't see any potential here. No Weipler, no Cansey. Nope, they all suck. Let's see. MC wants to know if we saw Connor Hughes. Yeah, we saw his comments. But I don't know if did he do the follow-up comment, MC? You want to check Connor Hughes real quick?
I'm doing it right now.
Mark from Asbury Park with an A minus. Let's see. Curly Norman with an A minus. Gary Fisher with an A. Man, we are crushing it. Eric Craig says, way to go, Bean. Lemon pepper chicken. It was lemon thyme chicken. There was pepper in there too, though, Eric Craig, but lemon thyme chicken. Isn't that interesting? I actually have a thyme bush and a rosemary bush and all that, but it makes it that much better.
So Zach Rosenblatt with a fresh tweet, a freshie.
Ooh, let's do it.
The feeling in and around the Jets today / tonight has been that Aaron Rodgers will join them, but it's not done yet.
Yeah. So
I don't know the timeline or the specific holdup, but that's the vibe. The feeling is that Rodgers wants to do this on his terms, especially if he's leaving Green Bay after 18 years.
So in other words, nothing has changed, but it is a good info that the Jets, if he's given us the vibe at Florham Park, One Jets Drive, that they're pretty much, they feel good about it, then there's reasons for them to feel good about it. So even though it isn't done, we're close.
Yeah.
That's what I get. Rob V loves the Jack Campbell pick. Trevor likes it. He gives it an A. K Yeti gave it an A. Says the best draft yet.
I probably agree. This is probably our best PFN draft yet.
It felt good right out of the gate, didn't it? It just felt good, man. Zach Hunko with the B plus for this one, A minus for the other one, or maybe it's vice versa. Eric Craig likes them both, gives them both an A. There you go, Eric. CT Jets fan, my old buddy from Jetnation. Good night, Gang Green. Hopefully some good news tomorrow. Actually, yeah, I'm with you there. Flying High. Have a good night, Connecticut Jets fan. B+ from Flying High. Vervain says, I knew you were going to make a delicious bird, Bean. Can't go wrong with lemon time. That's right. It's lemon time, baby. Thank you, Vervain. And he gives it a B. All right. Kareem says, Broderick Jones is the next Ferguson to Brickashaw. Well, ain't nothing wrong with that, buddy. Having a left tackle that gets to 3 Pro Bowls and is as your guy, you don't have to think about that position for a decade. Can't give that an F. Can't do it. I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that DeBrick sucked. He didn't. You know what I mean? He didn't. So Jets fans are funny. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Who's this? PFN is the foundation. PFF is entertaining. I like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm giving this draft an A. I would be ecstatic with this draft. Now there's some players I might like a little better here or there.
Yeah, sure.
But if this is our group, I am ecstatic. I really want tackle and center to be addressed. I do not want to see us get out of this draft without addressing a nice young, aggressive, big body, not even necessarily only big body, but I want to see a guy, a young guy for Quinnen to have as a partner on that defensive line. I want it. I want the young legs in there. This Nathan Shepard's and Solomon Thomas's are fine, but I want the youth to come in on the interior with Quinnen. Jack Campbell, love it. Sidney Brown, I definitely want to see us come out of this draft with a solid safety. Yashovich, that's where I like him. He's fine, well enough, especially late in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But then where the hell is it here? Yep. Okay. Yeah. PJ Mustafa backing up the defensive tackle. I like it. Now, I probably would have, if it was me, I would have probably chosen another interior, even gone with 3, or maybe another safety, but who knows? I like it. So I'm giving it an A, man. I really am. I think it's a strong draft. And the PFF draft, I'm giving a B. That's what I am, a solid B. I like it too. It's interesting, though. The tackle Freeland, going down to Freeland, why I don't think he's terrible. It is spooky not to come out of this.
There's a clear drop-off between Broderick Jones here and Blake Freeland there.
Yeah, but I like Njigba. I mean, going that route and just saying, hey, we're going to blow teams out of the water with our devastatingly potent offense. Yeah. I got to say, I like that idea too, man. So, all right, man. Well,
let's see what we can... Hey, Beastly Boy, thanks for joining the stream, man. Never seen you here before.
Yeah, but he's here dropping. Boy.
I think he's a Vikings fan.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Guys are relying on Aaron Rodgers to save your sorry franchise. Imagine. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Radovan Merkovic with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, worried that this Aaron Rodgers uncertainty continues to some degree. Halfway through OTAs, he rolls in, but the fans are pissed. His first bad game, fans riot. I know, you know what, dude? I've seen a few comments like in this same vein, right, Radovan? I don't think you're alone with this idea that he's going to do things and piss us all off. But I'm going to share something with you. When we were talking about Carr, Jimmy G, Aaron Rodgers, this is part of it. This is what it is. Mm-hmm. Like Aaron Rodgers is bringing with him a certain attitude that is different than what we might expect or want. Dude, he's loose. He's laid back. He's mellow. He works on his own time, his own clock. And you have to know that. You can't hold him to a standard that he's already proven he's not going to meet. He's not going to be New York Minute, dude. That's not who he is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So we have to know that going in. He doesn't show up to OTAs now or, to voluntaries and all that. Now, maybe the fact this is his first time on a new team, so we don't know. Maybe he does decide to come, and that would be great. But again, I don't think he's gone the last handful of years, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that he hasn't gone to voluntaries in a while. So if he doesn't do that here, are we now going to get mad at him? We already know. You see what I'm saying, Radovan? It's like, why would we allow ourselves to get upset for Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers? What we want is a 4-time MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback that had back-to-back MVPs a year ago with the offensive coordinator that we have. That's the good stuff. That's what we want. And we're willing to take the things like the age, like the little bit of a dip in production last year, like he's only going to be here temporarily, 2 years. Like, we know all these things. We can't very well hope we get Aaron Rodgers and then complain about the ancillary stuff. It's coming. It's part of it. You agree, Dom?
Mm-hmm. Couldn't agree more. That's what you're signing up for. Rob V. Dom GreenBean. Who are your top 5 receivers in this class?
Just to cap Radovan's thing. But Radovan, yeah. So, I mean, I'm with you. And again, I don't think you're alone, but I'm seeing it all over the place. Like, let's remove our emotions real quick. Rob V will come right back to you. Let's remove our emotions real quick. What is really going on, right? What's real? What's real is the Jets flew to meet with Aaron Rodgers just literally days ago, right? So we didn't have any, they had to get permission and all that kind of stuff. It's just a couple of days. That's all it is. It's a few days ago. Today, no one, we see all these agreements happening. Not one contract was signed today. Not one. Because all this is a negotiating window, right? So there could very well be guys that we heard are going to this team that could back out tomorrow. We've seen it every year, at least one. There's always, maybe not every year, but we've seen it a few years, right? We know very well Anthony Barr agreed to come and then he bailed, right? So that kind of stuff happens. So really what we're looking at is the Jets met with Aaron Rodgers a couple of days ago. He's taken a couple days to think about it, right? He had his golf tournament thing. He's doing stuff. And now we are literally on day 1 of the negotiating period. And just because we stayed online all day, waiting every second for every tweet, doesn't mean that more than 1 day has elapsed. It feels like it, sure. But really, it's 1 day. And it's not even the first day of free agency. It's only the negotiating window. So that's what's real. And it could very well be the Jets and it's all pretty much done. They just don't want to say it yet. And who knows? They're working on other package deals or they're working on the idiosyncrasies of the contract. Who knows? There's little details and little dots on the I's and T's to cross and things like that. But again, what's real is that it's only a few days old and this is day 1 of the negotiating period. Nothing else is real. So I want to just say that. Now, if he comes out and sucks, yeah, we're going to have problems with that, Radovan. We're going to be upset. But again, I think he's the kind of guy, like, look, if he has a couple bad games, you have every confidence. Like, he's the type of guy you think, all right, well, we're going to turn it around. We got to have faith, man. We got to start supporting somebody. Who the fuck are we going to support if not Aaron Rodgers? You know what I mean? Like, all right, we've proven that we can't support a young guy. We want him to kill himself and we want to fuck, well, you suck. And we do all that. How about a guy who's proven he's one of the all-time greats? Can we have a little faith that even if he has a bad game, that he can turn it around? We got to do. So it's got to be one end, right, Radovan? One of these ends, we have to figure out a way to just be supportive without being grumblers, Woo! I talked too much at the end.
That was a lot, man.
That was a lot. I feel like I'm dying. Rob V. So, all right, who are top 5 wide receivers, Dom? Who do you got?
No particular order. JSN, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Josh Downs. Who am I missing? I don't have Quentin Johnson.
Yeah. I know. A lot of people have him as like the number 1 receiver in the class.
He's not my number 1. Jordan Addison has been my number 1, but he came in a little slower and a little lighter than I'd expect. I'd like to see pro days before I finalize everything, and it'll be all that'll be out hopefully by April 1st in my draft guide.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. What about Jalen Hyatt? Did you mention him?
I didn't. he's just outside of it. I prefer. I really like Josh Downs from UNC. I think he's a phenomenal talent. Jalen Hyatt's fast. He's very good. I'm concerned. I have some concerns because again, the guys out of that Tennessee offense, he doesn't run a route. He doesn't run a full route tree. He runs comebacks and goes. So I'd like to see him. He's able to. They forced. They ran a weird offense. Tennessee. They stacked him a lot. Behind another wide receiver. They did weird formations like that to kind of scheme him open and utilize that blazing speed that he has against a linebacker or a safety. So, he was wide open all the time, but a lot of it was forced schemed. So I'd like to see what he's doing, what he does at the next level, see if he can separate off a press man coverage, so on and so forth. So I got him just a little bit lower.
Yeah, and a lot of this guys, these wide receivers in particular, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, it really does depend on where they land, right? Like just anybody. You take Jordan Addison. If he goes to the Sam Darnold Jets, he's going to have a significantly different career than if he goes to the Aaron Rodgers Jets. You know what I mean? It's totally different. And a lot of that stuff has impact. Now, hopefully what you want to see is what Garrett Wilson did. Garrett Wilson showed us, I don't give a shit who's behind center. Just get that ball in the air and I will show you what I am. He's that good. He can even make a quarterback look better. That's rare. You know what I mean? Now, but most wide receivers, they can be excellent. But if it's like it all depends on the system around them and how well the quarterback can provide them with the ball and all that shit. So I think a lot of these receivers, I'm not looking at this class, Dom, quite with the same excitement as I did the last few. You know what I mean?
No, I wholeheartedly agree. Like I said, I spit off the guys that are in my top 5, and I don't necessarily have a dead set order yet, but you can, depending on who you talk to or who you read or whatever, they could have these guys in all different areas, which tells you one thing, that there's nobody that really stands out. Somebody might like Zay Flowers, a little bit more because, he's fast and he's electric and, he's got inside outside versatility. Some guys might like Quentin Johnson because he's got the height, weight, speed. He's Denzel Mims in a nutshell. Very, very similar, very, very similar body. Very fast like him. Good run after the catch. But he doesn't have a full route tree, so on and so forth. Yeah. Then there's Jordan Addison, who's just proven that he's a special talent at the collegiate level.
Addison.
Yeah. Yep. So there's no Jamar Chase. There's no Jalen Waddle. There's no, we talked about that. There's no Garrett Wilson. There's no Justin Jefferson. There's none of that in this class. Very, very meh. It's the best way to put it.
Yeah, well said, man. And now that doesn't mean some of these guys aren't going to be longtime NFL stars. The Pro Bowl doesn't mean that.
Correct.
It's just as far as we're looking at prospects right now, and prospects you rate in a very specific way. That's what you do. Some guys are better prospects, and then the other guy who was not quite as good of a prospect, he finds a way to have a better career. Happens all the time. So, but yeah, man, I think this is a good class. But we've gotten really spoiled with the last maybe 4 years of wide receiver classes. Man, it's been unbelievable.
Yeah, outstanding, right?
Right? It's unbelievable. Like in 2 years ago, the 3rd round receivers are probably in the same discussion with the top wide receivers in this class, and I mean that. Like that's real. And even last year, the 2nd round. Look at George Pickens was a 2nd round pick last year.
Where's second rounder, right?
Yeah.
Where's George Pickens
on this list?
He's probably right up there at the top,
right?
And think of there's 5 receivers in the 1st round last year. They're all better than the guys in this class, And some might argue JSN, which is a fair argument. But he didn't play last year. There's still that, He hurt his hamstring and he just decided to just take it easy for the rest of the year, after that. Now, I can't argue him. I can't argue that decision. He knew he was going to be a 1st round pick, but, there's still that. So I agree. There's guys that in last year's second round that probably would be at the top of this class.
Well, all right. So Owen is talking about we're banking on a 39-year-old quarterback whose stats have been declining. Now, no hate, just facts. Let's take a look at that. Okay. Let's see if these are actually facts. Okay. Now, we all know about last year, right? Last year, they took away his offensive coordinator. They took away Devontae Adams. He had the broken thumb or whatever the hell it was. And he chose to play through it. A lot of quarterbacks, they just, hey, I hurt my thumb. I'm out. You know what I mean? He chose to play through it. But let's take a look. Let's say if you say someone's declining, you got to look at more than 1 year, in my opinion. So let's look at 3. Let's look at 4, right? Something like that. Okay. And let's see if he's really declining, Owen, just so we can talk about actual facts. All right. So this is what we got. We got from 2018. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Okay, we got 4,442 yards with a 62.3% completion percentage, 25 touchdowns. Is that real? 2 interceptions. Jesus Christmas. Can you imagine? All year? 2? The fuck is that? I don't even know that can happen. So then we got the next year, he has 62% completions, 4,000 yards, 26 and 4. So technically speaking, that's a dip. It is. 1 more touchdown, but 2 more picks, a little bit lower completion percentage, 400 yards, 440 yards less. So then you got 2020. He has a 70.7% completion percentage, 4,300 yards. Owen, 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. This is 8 years of our quarterback's touchdowns right here. All right, that's what it is. The next year, technically speaking, he declined 68.9% completion percentage, 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Again, last year is definitely a dip, all right? Definitely.
Which he played with a broken thumb, in fairness.
He's playing with a broken thumb. And again, dude, they took away Devontae Adams. They traded him away. They changed offensive coordinators. He had a bunch of rookies, those wide receivers, Watson, Dubs, they were all hurt all year. There was like never a period where all of them were healthy at the same time. Who's the other guy? From Clemson, Amari
Rodgers, they cut him.
Yeah. And so he was there. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. But look, even with that, he still got just about a 65% completion percentage. He got 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 12 picks. Like, let me just say this, Owen. If this is all we get, it's going to be the best quarterback year that we've seen in a very long time. What was Fitzpatrick's years? Let me just see real quick.
Yeah, and while you're looking up that, I want to talk because we have seem to have a strong Packers contingency in the chat tonight, which is great. Welcome, guys.
Oh yeah, welcome. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Right.
And I will say this: like, I get it. I get why, if you guys are done with it and so on and so forth. What you got to understand from our vantage point is the past few years has just been a debauchery at the quarterback position. Yeah. Rodgers might only play 1 year. He might only play 2 years. And, his best years might be behind him. But what he's going to produce is still going to be, so far better than what we've had. So, your loss, you guys are going to be happy to lose him and move on and see what Jordan Love has. And that's great.
Right.
And I understand that you got to understand where we're coming from too, is that our quarterback, and we haven't had a quarterback that hasn't thrown more than 10 touchdowns in a season.
I know. Like, look, Dom, to your point, can we just say with complete respect and fairness, you guys, the Packers, are a little bit spoiled with quarterback play. You guys have had 2 consecutive Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I commend the organization. Well done. Fantastic. But that is not our experience. You guys are looking at, we don't want to deal with somebody who's this kind of shit. We don't know what's happening. That's great. That's a big problem to you. To us, that's fucking nothing. Okay. Again, Dom said we haven't seen a quarterback throw for 10 touchdowns in 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's what so again, there's perspectives. And the old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. That all said, we're not looking at a trend. All right. We're looking at 1 year with numerous changes going on, numerous. And he still threw for 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, and whatever it was, 12 picks. That alone is the best year since this one right here, which is why I have Ryan Fitzpatrick. This is 2015, where Ryan Fitzpatrick, look, lower completion percentage, 3,900 yards, but he's right. Look, he threw 31 touchdowns. Rodgers threw 26. He had 15 picks. Rodgers had 12. So it's kind of in the same pocket. I would say that, look, it's more touchdowns, more yards, so it's better, but it's very similar, right? It's in that
more picks and a lower completion percentage.
That's right.
Pick your poison.
That's right. Exactly right. So, look, and before that, look, we had what? Geno Smith. We had the Mark Sanchez stuff.
Sam Darnold.
Well, Sam Darnold was after. I'm just talking about so this is we haven't had a year like this since Ryan Fitzpatrick. So Aaron Donald's dip last year, or Aaron Rodgers, fucking Aaron Donald. Aaron Rodgers' dip is the best. Again, the dip is the best quarterbacking season that a Jet would have had since 2015. That's 7 years. Right? Next year would be 8 years. And before that, I'm telling you, I don't think Mark Sanchez ever had a 4,000 yard. I mean, he was, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Mark. Oh, no, not Mark Sander. There it is. Mark Sander. Let's just take a look. All right, real quick. This is what we endured with Mark Sanchez. All right, this is right here. So he had 2,883 yards, 13 picks, 18 interceptions. 2011, interestingly enough, was actually Sanchez's best year, 3,400 yards. So he has like 10 points less on the completion percentage, 300 yards less in yards, same touchdowns, 5 more picks than Aaron Rodgers' dip. So do you see it, guys? Like, this is us. This is going all the way back to 2009. And we haven't even seen a 4,000-yard passer. We haven't seen. We had one 3,900. We had one over 3,500, dude. It's like, so we have to remember that. Like, you can complain all you like, and you can be afraid 39. Sure, dude. You guys know I was on the car train for consistency, continuity, and all that. But let's just be real here. There's no reason to believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to suddenly suck. There's no reason. Even if we only get last year's production, which we're going to get more because we're loaded, all right? We are loaded. We're going to more than likely get more production. But even if that's all we get, that puts us in the playoffs last year and potentially the AFC East. So I don't want to hear it. Like, that's what we're talking about. Like, we're finding a way to look a gift horse in the mouth, everybody. Like, let's just be real, Let's see. His wife. All right. Okay. I got to catch up here. Let me see. All right. Who is this? Ryan King checking in with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. This is nice. This is a nice way to, we're late, as I appreciate this. Could the Jets give Aaron a 2-year must? And that's what is holding things up. This way, next year is a guarantee and not this again. I got to be honest. I don't know. I don't know if you can actually do that. Like, can you hold somebody to something like that? If he says, fuck you, I want to retire. I mean, can you control a man? I don't think so. I think they can try to get as many assurances as they can. And where they can have the impact, Ryan, is with the compensation to the Packers, right? So we can definitely not get into a scenario where they're getting a first-round pick, for example, next year, even if Rodgers retires. Like, that's where we can manipulate some stuff, contingency. I mean, I'm sorry. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? Jesus, I'm tired. Like, for a pick with not contingencies. It starts with a C. What's the word, everybody?
A pick with?
Like, when you have, like, I'll give you this if this happens.
Contingency.
It's not contingency, though. It's something else.
Contingency plan.
Yeah, but it's something else. What is it? Conditions. Conditional. That's what it is. We found it. All right, conditional pick. So that's what that is. So like that's where you can have an impact. Trying to say to someone like you have to play next year no matter what, I don't think you can really do that in this country. Maybe in 1800s King Henry England, you could. You're playing, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Off with his head. That kind of a thing. But again, guys, we can have our issues with any quarterback. You had the people who liked Jimmy G the best. Sure. If you look at his stats for the season that he finished the season, dude, he's way up there. He really is way up there. Almost 70% completion percentage. I mean, he's a good quarterback. The problem with Jimmy G is injuries, right? That's the issue. Inconsistency, availability, those types of things. So that going in. Derek Carr, well, we have all these reasons why he didn't play well, and I buy him. But the truth is he's never won a playoff game. So the cold weather thing. So you have all those things that you have to consider. And he's no spring chicken either. He's not 39, but he's not 25 either. You see what I mean? So there's always going to be concerns with each one. But the truth is the best quarterback on the market is Aaron Rodgers, period. You could say Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's he's younger, but he's also missed more games since Lamar Jackson has been in the league, he's missed more games than Aaron Rodgers has. What does that tell you? That's not a good look. And that's a trend. You see what I mean? Like Lamar Jackson's stats by and large have gone down since his MVP season. They've gone down. So that's a trend. It's not one season. It's 2 or 3 seasons. Now we're talking about the beginning of a trend. That's a different thing. And I know there are people that would love Lamar Jackson. That's their number one. I get it, and I understand why. I do. He would be as exciting as a guy that we've ever had. Again, the last 2 years, he left his team on the lurch. When they made it into the playoffs, he wasn't there. And that's 2 years in a row, man. And he's a mobile running quarterback. So that's scary. So anyway, thank you, Ryan. Yeah, right. John Dorn says he'll give 100%. I mean, again, like you can totally understand why Green Bay fans feel the way they do.
Yeah.
It's like, remember I think I was talking to you, Dom, years ago on the forums. Like I was talking to Detroit fans about Barry Sanders, and I was like raving about him. And I had these 2 fans that said to me, dude, but you don't get it, man. Every year we're wondering if he's going to retire. And then he ended up retiring early. But it was like 3 years in a row they were talking about like he might retire. And you're like, get the fuck out of here. Like they got tired of it already. Like if you're going to retire, leave. I don't care how great you are. And I get it. I totally do. But again, if there's any franchise that's spoiled with how, they don't know what bad quarterback play is, and how bad and grim it can really get when your quarterback can't complete a 5-yard crossing route. It's a slant. It's the Green Bay Packers. They have no idea what bad quarterback play looks like. You know what I mean? Hopefully for them, Jordan Love is going to continue this streak for them. He's a first-round pick. He's been grooming for 3 years. All the pieces are there, right, Dom?
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows? He could suck.
I understand why the Packers fans are ready to move on. I do. I mean, you kind of get dragged along and hung over the edge time after time after time. And you just, sometimes things play out. Sometimes that it's time to turn the page in the next chapter. You're right there. You got to see what you have in this kid. You have to see if Jordan Love can be the legit next guy in line. Because if not, then you're going to have to, figure out a second contingency. I'd bet that, I'd bet that he turns out to be a pretty damn good quarterback.
I like Jordan Love. I do.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And I like what they've done. Like, dude, this is a tried and true system now for them.
Yeah. I think that if I was a Packers fan, and I'm not going to speak for the Packers fan, if there's any of them in here, which I think there are, they can speak. But I bet you they probably, in hindsight, wish that contract didn't get signed last year with Aaron Rodgers, and they had moved on. They could have been off scot-free.
Yeah, totally.
They could have, they're paying the piper. Even with the trade, I think it's what, a $40 million dead cap hit that
Yeah, dude, it's heavy duty.
Yeah,
It's
that
heavy
they're
duty.
enduring right now.
The fact that if we do trade for him, his cap hit is only 15 million shows you they're going to take a few lumps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So look, Brian Scantlebury, interesting take, Dom. And Dom, look, at any point, if you got to leave, you can leave. I just want you to know, don't feel beholden. Okay. I know you work and shit.
I got 3 minutes. And
All
then
right,
I'm out
3
of here.
minutes for Dom. So this will be the last thing, and then we'll let you go. I can hang out a little bit more. GreenBean, do you think JD is holding this up because he knows the Packers are against the wall and he's trying to lowball them? What do you think about that potential? Any viability of this?
I don't think so. I think that the deal is done. I think it's all already hammered out and been hammered out, and that's been the easy part of this. The hard part is kind of massaging everything else that goes along with Aaron Rodgers and his sensitive side, and doesn't want to leave. Wants to leave on his terms, and he wants to roll it out. All that diva stuff that you're getting with Aaron Rodgers. Because I'm not going to sugarcoat that. As happy as I will be if he does join the Jets, I'm also a realist in saying we're taking on quite a unique personality. Diva-esque, but that's the price you pay when you miss on the number 2 overall pick.
That's just the price you pay. Well said.
This was not the plan, guys.
This was not the plan. And our ability to pivot, if we land Aaron Rodgers, shows a pretty effective pivot from our team. This team is built perfectly, guys. Now the injuries to the offensive line aren't optimal, and of course, there's hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
But look at how this team is built. We deconstructed the Mike McCagnon, John Idzik teams, created an entire draft class of additional capital, and we have rookies of the year, Pro Bowlers, all pros, all this kind of, and that this team, if Zach was a top 12, top 15 even quarterback, we're in the playoffs, dude. Like, that's where this is.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, and that would be best case, but we're not there.
Yeah.
All right, John. Yeah.
You have a super chat up there.
Oh,
from Andy.
Let's do that, and then we're done. Or you're done anyway. Oh man, I'm way behind. Holy shit. Okay. Holy shit. Okay, wait. All right, Super Dario. Oh man, sorry. Forgive me, guys. I got
a couple of them
stuck in my diatribe there. Super Dario, all ayahuasca, no ketamine. That's right. Significantly different, guys. Significantly different experiences. Hey, Don, you ever been in a K-hole?
Oh, unfortunately many a times.
Really? That was one. I only did it once. And you know what's fun? I mean, I did it a couple times, but I only gotten bordering K-hole once. And you know what I was doing? I was driving down Route 46 with path marked to my right at the light right there, Bedwick Road. And I decided to snort a line of K there while driving my Jeep. That's what I did.
Not a good idea.
By the time I made the left, that big old, the old 1700s house there?
Yeah,
right,
sure.
I had to pull in their parking lot and switch seats with somebody. I was like, oh. So yeah, I was a smart guy. All right. So Ryan King checking back in. Thank you, Ryan. Dude, you're fucking awesome, man. I appreciate that. Did Rodgers forget the non-tampering period started today and he's off eating magical mushrooms? It's very possible. It's very, very possible. Again, just what was it yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago? He was doing the golf tournament. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I think what Dom just said, and then after this, Dom, you can go. And if you want to clarify anything, what Dom just said is kind of where I am. I think by and large, it's all done. That's what I think. Maybe there's package details. Maybe there's numbers, working all that. I think the Packers know they're moving on. The fans know they're moving on. Aaron Rodgers knows they're moving on, that he's moving on. The Jets are the team that they've allowed to talk with him. He's not a free agent, so we would know if he's talking to other teams and all that. It's just the Jets, at least now. And we have a good team for him. Yeah. So it just, to me, it seems like We just need a little bit of patience. It's only day one. Do you, I mean, did I say that right? Like, as far as your opinion?
No, absolutely. Listen, could it have been resolved already? Yeah, I think so. If there's any hang up, maybe it stems around like the renegotiation of his contract. If because he did say that he'd be open to that. In one of his many, Pat McAfee airings, so on and so forth. But I don't think that's the case. I just think that I think I kind of lean a lot towards, and not because he said it, but I kind of lean a lot towards kind of what Connor Hughes was kind of intimating at, is that like, or Zach Blatt, excuse me, that he's just wants to do it on his terms. It's like not as easy of a no-brainer decision as it is. He's been with the Packers for 18 years. It's all he's known. It's all he's known. It's probably not an easy decision. And tack that onto the fact that, like I said, I think he's obviously a deep thinker and a little bit, like I said, a little bit of a diva and so on and so forth. Maybe he's just kind of dragging it out for that reason. I don't know, man.
I mean, there's lots of potential variables, but again, like I kind of lean where you were, which is, I think it's mostly done. I think it's just we're looking at some details, and there's no rush. Like, that's the thing there, especially from his perspective. He's a California guy. He works on his own clock, and he's earned it. Yeah. He's earned the ability to do that, man.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
On that note,
I
I put something in the private chat for you. Don't forget that super chat.
Got it. Thank you.
And it was a great time tonight. Great day, all in all. Spent it this morning with you guys. I got to, really, I literally spent 5.5 hours with Matt O'Leary. At least it was on in the background while I was doing stuff. So, good day. Let's hope that we get some resolution tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, let's hope we get some resolution on Wednesday. Or let's just,
not Wednesday, then we get it on Thursday, right? Yeah.
I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to stress about it. But you guys are great in the chat, man. Even you, Kareem, aka Jets Forever. I think
I know it's the same guy, right? It's just taking different extremes, because it's they definitely exhibit similar traits, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Well, there he goes. Listen, Dom C, everybody. His videos are released right here on GreenBean Jets Fan, player breakdowns, podcasts, all those kinds of things. He has his own playlist on the channel, Dom C, and you can follow him on Twitter, DC_NY Jets. He's a good follow. And he's a good fella. Dom, thank you for hanging out, and I'm sure I'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
Always my pleasure, guys. So long.
Good night. There he goes. Dom C, everybody. So, okay. Well, thank you, Ryan. So, Andy checking in. He says, as a Packer fan, agree completely. Also been having fun watching all you Jets fan streams. You all do a really well. Thank you, Andy. It's an interesting thing, over here. Like, we go through the season, we do live streams for the games or anything. And we get a lot of fans from the teams that we're playing or teams that we're doing something with, whatever. And most of the fans that check in are just awesome. I love this. I love being able to interact truly with each other. Like, I don't see any reason why we have to be assholes. Well, we could bust balls a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. But as far as like being a complete troll, like you suck and fuck you, like that's all ridiculous. But honestly, that's really, I'd say, a very small percentage of what we see, at least on this channel. It's really fun during the games. I don't know if you were here when we played the Packers this past year, when we completely kicked the shit out of remember that? Well, I'm sorry, Andy. But we had a few, I think 2 or 3 Packers fans hung out with us in the chat, and it was great. They were respectful and they were good, and we had a good time with them. So I appreciate you being here. We have an interesting community, dude. We're not quite like other fan bases. We're just not. I mean, right or wrong, good or bad, that's for people to decide on their own. But we're not the same. We're different here. A little bit nuts, little tiny bit. So I appreciate you being here, man. And look, and sincerely, I hope Jordan Love is a good quarterback. I'm rooting for the kid a little bit. I don't really root for anybody outside of the Jets, to be truthful. But I'd like to see Jordan Love actually get himself an NFL career and be a good quarterback. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. So Jets Florida checking in. Thank you. He says, GreenBean, we should draft Hooker if we can for the future. He could be second or third round and no rush playing him. Well, you know what, Jets Florida? Here's what I'll say about that. We know that more than likely, unless there's some crazy trade offer that comes in for Zach, right? More than likely, the bill they're selling us that they think he can turn the corner, if you a hard reset, they're going to do that, right? So they have him as their developmental guy. Let's not forget, he's 23 years old. So we're not talking about trying to, make a 27-year-old into something. He's 23. He had 2 years with LaFleur. We've already identified that there were some issues with LaFleur, at least personnel-wise. Greg Knapp died. It was a really, it was an interesting situation. Now, I don't think all of it can be removed from Zach. Dude, he was piss poor. The worst. I didn't think we could get worse play than Sam Darnold, honestly. But we did. So if they're going to do that, though, they're going to keep him as the developmental guy. Bringing in a rookie to be in there, like Zach as the number 2, doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason to do that. It's not a hard reset. Because then if anything happens, he's the guy running in. He's got to be ready to play. That's not a reset. That's stressful. He's got to be ready. So I think if he's the developmental guy, you got to bring in a solid backup. You have to. Because if, your starter goes down for any length of time, whether it be 1 game or 3 games or 5 games, you want somebody that can come in and actually play. They don't have to be great. They have to be solid. They maybe don't get injured that much. That's the problem with Mike White, right? And he got fucking, $8 million or something like that? Good for Mike White, dude. He's been good with us, right? Good for him. He built himself a career. But let's be real. We all loved some Mike effing White, but dude, the guy got hurt every 5 minutes. So you want a guy that can come in, play like Mike White. Mike White gave you what you needed for the most part. And not get hurt for 2. Let's say, we get Aaron Rodgers and he goes down for 2 games, gets hurt in a game, misses the second half, and then misses 1 game. You want your guy to come in and actually be able to win that game and give you a fighting chance the next week. That's what you want. We have these situations here, Jets, Florida, where when the backup comes in, half the fan base wants him to be the starter. It's like, blow it up. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And we got to fucking get away from that, man. We have to get away from the idea that if our quarterback goes down, the next guy coming in is where all of our hopes and dreams get attached to. No, he's our backup. That's what we got to get back to. He's our starter. He's our backup. This is the guy we're working on developing to be something. That's the way it should be. And in my opinion, if that's going to be Zach, we can't draft Hooker. We can't. That's me. Maybe they think they can, but I would much rather see them bring in a veteran that, again, can win the games, and you're not worried about, rookie mistakes and all this kind of shit. We've been doing that for 5 years. 5 years straight, man. Rookie mistakes, young guy, fuck that. You know what I mean? So that's where I stand on that one. I'm not saying I don't like the player. And let me switch this. All right, let's say this. If Zach, let's say somebody offered you a late second round pick for Zach Wilson, right? And they're like, you know what? I'm going to take it, right? They take it. So they get us a late second round pick. The Chiefs want them or something like that. And you get a late second round pick. And then now you have 2 seconds and 1 quarterback. You only got your starter and then Streveler's on a futures contract or whatever. Now you're talking about you can bring in a rookie to be that developmental guy, quarterback 3. And then you bring in a vet and whatever. But if that happens, now we're talking. But having Zach, who you really want to keep as far away from the starting lineup as you can for at least this season, I would say. Worst case scenario is that Zach has to come in and start. That's the worst case scenario. So you want to keep him as far away as you can, so that having Zach and a rookie, it's silly. But if you have Zach goes somewhere like via trade, then we're talking. And Hooker would be I think he would be a good prospect to bring in. So that's where I am with that. Let's see what else you guys got in here. Wow, we're all still in here. Huh? Still 170 in here. Wow, it's late. It's almost 1 a.m. So look, I want to show you guys something. Don't forget about this. We were talking about something earlier. You guys remember what it is? Jordan Victor, you remember what it was? So KFC has this thing called the Double Down. It's out there right now. They made it a few years ago. I don't know, 5-10 years ago, whatever. I had one. I was like, I can't not get that because the KFC makes me sick. I never eat it. But I had to get it because it's so fucking crazy. So I had to get it. Well, guess what? It's back for a limited time right now. And this is what it is. Okay? Look at this thing. So there's no bread. The bread is the chicken. So look at this. You got chicken, cheese, bacon, and whatever that, mayo, whatever the hell it is. So this is the Double Down. Look at this thing. See it? So this is a regular chicken sandwich, you guys know, with buns, see? But instead of buns, we have 2 chicken cutlets, amazeballs, right? So that's what we're talking about. Okay. William Sprain checking. He says, Rodgers can pick apart any defense. Knowledge better than most coaches. Agreed. And here's the thing that I think a lot of people are forgetting. If Rodgers does sign here, literally what we're doing, guys, is we're taking 1 year removed from the connection of offensive coordinator and starting quarterback that got back-to-back NFL MVPs done. You can't overstate that. Like, that's incredibly important and incredibly valuable. Like, look, this last staff came in. Again, we had the tragedy with Greg Knapp. Make no mistake, Greg Knapp was the glue. He was the guy responsible for developing the young quarterback, passing game coordinator. LaFleur's job was to design and call the offense. Napper was taking care of everything else, including developing Rob Calabrese as a quarterback coach. And then John Benton had the running backs and offensive line and all. That was his side. We had the 2 vets, Benton and Knapp. Knapp got tragically taken from us, and then everything got thrown into the wind. And we found out that LaFleur is ill-equipped to do that. Hey, look, LaFleur draws up nice offensive schemes. He does. They're very effective. I broke them down, and we watched all the all-22s. So many times the plays were working. The quarterbacks were just garbage, right? But that doesn't mean that the impact he had with the player, the personnel choices and implementation and then situational awareness, he was way off with all that shit. And that's because Greg Knapp passed away. So now we go from that to not only bringing in a very experienced staff, but they're experienced with specifically this quarterback to the highest heights. NFL MVP back to back, dude. And that's only a year ago. 1 season removed. We're not talking about trying to recapture something from 6 years ago. 1 season removed. Owen Cummings. What's up, Owen? Back. Let's see what you got this time. Owen, your wide receiver core is wasting Zach's career. Wilson Jr. has potential, but he's not what you guys make him out to be. Just watch. I called it. Ridiculous. I mean, there's literally, that's all conjecture and opinion. Yeah, okay, you can have any opinion you want, but there's nothing to support that. Nothing. There's no stats you can bring forth, no situations you can bring forth that support that argument, Owen. Let's be real. Like before, you said facts. I showed you they're not facts. You're bringing out your opinions, which is fine, but you can't get it twisted. Feelings are not facts. Just because I think this doesn't make it right. When you look at numbers and you look at what's real, you can feel any way you want about them, but fucking numbers don't lie. And again, we brought them all out. We dissected them this way, that way, every which way. Now, this one is another one. Our wide receiver core is wasting Zach's career. Like, number one, that's completely flipped. Completely. Wilson Jr. has potential. You mean Garrett Wilson? Is that who you're saying? Garrett Wilson has potential. You mean rookie of the year? But he's not what you guys make him out to be. What can you make? He's the offensive rookie of the year, dude. I mean, what are we making him out to be? Again, what's real is real. You don't have to like him. That's fine. And you could have a feeling he's gonna, regress. Sure, we can have those feelings, but there's nothing to support that. Nothing. Wow, Beastly Boy. Well, that's a little forward, isn't it? Somebody's getting a little forward here tonight. We're talking about the KFC double down, the discount double down. That's what we should do. If he comes here, screw the discount double check, the discount double down. You guys got to talk to Beastly Boy. He didn't even ask me to dinner first. Just wants to grab my beard and shit. Wacky. Isn't it though, Cyrus? It's fucking crazy. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Shane, who would trade for an old washed up $60 million quarterback? The Jets. Duh. What kind of question is that? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Randy don't like that sandwich. You don't like him? Randy, you're tough. You're a tough sell, buddy. You are. You're hard to please, man. Look, FKFC. No. Come on. I mean, look, I don't like KFC either, but come on, dude. You can't remove the fact that's a unique situation right there. And if you like chicken cutlets, you get 2 of them. If you like cheese, that's in there too. What's wrong with bacon? Now, if you're a vegetarian or you don't eat this shit, fine. But come on, that's unique. Good looking stuff right there, Randy. That's right. That's the other thing, Eddie. Look, here's the thing too. You can say whatever the hell you want, but the most recent examples, let's look at the most recent 2 examples of an old quarterback going to a new team. You got Matthew Stafford. He went from the Lions, shitty team, had some, he's very, very good quarterback, best player on bad teams for most of his career. He obviously had Megatron for a while. He's had some talent around him at times, but overall the team was just really poorly ran and, lots of weakness. But Stafford's a good quarterback, but he goes to the Rams and they win Super Bowl. Now, this year, we don't know, but they did it. Their goal was achieved. And you got Tom Brady. Tom Brady is, considered by many to be among, if not the greatest quarterback ever. Same category as Aaron Rodgers. Now, obviously, Brady has all the rings, so you're not going to really be able to compare. You know what I mean? Like there's, but it's a similar circumstance. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers couldn't sniff the playoffs for a decade. Or so. I don't know the exact number. But that's the truth of it. Tom Brady went down there. He brought Gronkowski and a few other guys came. And they had some talent down there. They had Michael Evans and they had Godwin. They had some talent. Then they went and got Fournette, right? And it worked. They won a Super Bowl, then went deep into the playoffs. And then last year they gave it to Todd Bowles and he's a complete waste of space. Think about that. Bruce Arians gave Todd Bowles literally a Super Bowl winning caliber roster with a Super Bowl winning staff. Todd Bowles, and of the greatest quarterback of all time. Todd Bowles in 1 year made it so they squeaked into the playoffs. They shouldn't even have been there, but their division is so weak that they squeaked him. One and done, a wild card, they're out. But not only that, he fired the entire offensive staff again. So that's the problem. Not me, not Casey Rodgers, the offensive staff again. So this is Todd Bowles' 6th year. He's about to enter his 6th year as a head coach in the NFL. This will be his 5th offensive coordinator in 6 years. You tell me if you're seeing a trend. That's a trend. You know, one bad year, and it's not even a bad year, but one dip is not a trend. It's a dip. Happens, ups, downs. It happens all the time. So the most recent examples, again, say what you want. You can paint it any way you like. And who knows if it works? We don't know. We don't know if Robert Saleh is any good. We know that Hackett and Aaron Rodgers have had recent success. And the most recent examples of this exact type of a scenario won Super Bowls. Actually, the last 2 Super Bowls. Sorry. The 2 prior to this year. You know what I mean? So we can say what we want. You know, again, you can feel any way you like. But let's be real. Rob V, if you've watched me for any length of time, and I know you have, I enjoy deconstructing trolls. I'm not going to give it too much energy. I'm not going to get upset, but I enjoy it. I mean, it's fucking 1 a.m. You know what I mean? So, Rob, I'm with you. Don't get me wrong. And there's plenty that I ignore and or even ban. But why not? And I don't necessarily think Owen, I feel like he's been around. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if he's trolling. I think he's just a little bit misguided. You know what I mean? Well, there's Owen right there. Why does he have to be Justin Jefferson? Justin Jefferson had Kirk Cousins too, Owen. I mean, see, like, again, like, you haven't given Zach enough time to unleash his skills. Bullshit, dude. Now, if he showed anything, like, you know, expecting him to reach his potential in year 2, maybe not. But to show that you're even at the level of competence is required. 2 years in the NFL, you have to show that you're competent. You have to. He had shown complete ineptitude. Now, to say that Garrett Wilson isn't Justin Jefferson is not necessarily a knock, you know. Justin Jefferson is unbelievable. Look at some of those catches. You remember the Bills game, the Vikings? Dude, if Justin Jefferson wasn't Justin Jefferson, the Bills win that game easy. Like, in the air, just the craziest things. He was doing landing on his head, still holding on to the ball. I mean, Justin Jefferson is in a league of his own, dude. You know, and that's including Jamar Chase and Hopkins and, you know, all the guys. Adams. Justin Jefferson is a stud, and he was the best wide receiver in that class, and many of us talked about it. But again, he doesn't have to be Justin Jefferson to be amazing. And the idea, like, just looking at, just like, without emotions or opinion, just looking at it, the idea that somehow Zach is the star and Garrett Wilson is, it's like, it doesn't make sense. And who knows what the future holds? Nobody knows. But it doesn't make sense to draw that conclusion at this time. It just doesn't. Yeah, AIM, what's up, buddy? We did. It said what? Sewell or something, right? And what was it? That was Rasul Douglas's. That was in response to Rasul Douglas, I think. Right? Something like that. I mean, maybe if you have any more information, AIM, let me know, because I think that's kind of where we ended on it. We saw it, though. Randy Hamilton, thank you for the super chat. He says, I just met GreenBean, having some fun. Good. Yeah, okay. I'm with you. And I like you. But I got to check. I got to see what the hell's going on. Sometimes people are so upset. I got to find out. You all right? You know, I'm a therapist, bro. That's what I do. Not anymore, but that's what I've done many, many years. I'm a therapist. I sense things. I go, what's really going on here? Tell me about your mother. You know, that kind of shit. But you're good with me, man. You're good. Jordan Fitch said it didn't work with Russell Wilson. Well, it's not a different scenario. It's a totally different thing. How old is Russell Wilson? Let me see. I don't even know how old he is. Hold on. Let me see. Russell Wilson. So he's 34. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's different. It's a different scenario. Jordan, believe me, I was thinking of him. I was trying to find I'm trying to find the closest comps. You know what I mean? And Brady and Stafford are much closer comps. So here's Russell. Right? He's 34 years old. Seems older, doesn't he? But he's not. Been around a minute. He's been in the league since what year was he drafted? 80. What? Come on. Why didn't it say it? All right, let's just go right here. So 2012, he came in the league. Now look at this guy. 16 games. This is what you want to see, man. This is the thing with Lamar. It's like, it's spooky, dude. In 4 years, he's missed like over 30% of his time. It's spooky. Especially for a guy who depends on running as much as he does. It's not to say he's not an incredibly talented passer. He is. But let's be real. His running is a major factor in his game. And the fact that he keeps getting hurt is scary, dude. Especially when he's turning down 4 years at $50 million each. Like, come on, dude. I don't want that guy. That sounds like a problem to me. But look, Russell Wilson played 15 games here, but dude, well, and then the year before, I was going to say, I thought he was hurt. Yeah, he missed 3 games. This was a 17-game season. So he missed those 3 games in 2021, which was great for us because we had their first round pick, remember? So when he went out those games, that was good because our pick that we had of theirs went up. Fantastic. And it ended up being, right, was it Garrett Wilson? That's what it ended up being. We ended up at the 10th pick, and we got Garrett Wilson. But, I mean, you could add it for sure. It's a similar situation, but it's not the same. You know, Aaron Rodgers, Stafford, Brady, different story. Like Stafford was in the year in the league, what if 2009, 10, 11, 4 years longer than Russell Wilson. You know, so again, similar. Well, look at this guy. Pro Bowl. How does he have rookie of the year in 2 years? How does he do that? I don't understand it. Offensive player of the year. That's what I mean. But he's not. He didn't win it. He's the 4th in the voting, 3rd in the voting, 3rd in the voting, 4th in the voting, all pro. 2. He was an all pro here. But so Russell Wilson, he had that, last year. But let's also not forget that the Russell Wilson thing is also weird, right? Remember all the weird reports coming out about him? About how the team doesn't like him and he has his own office, like just weird shit with him. So we don't know what that is. Jay Taylor checking in. Connor Hughes keeps mentioning tomorrow as the day. Yeah. Let's see what Connor Hughes is talking about. Let me see. Here's our buddy Dylan. If you guys don't know, Dylan's going to be breaking down wide receivers for my beanbaggers this Wednesday. If you want to get in on that, the link is in the description. It supports the channel and you get some really awesome private exclusive content. That's another thing. Beastly, you should join. The reporting of this whole thing has been wildly ass backwards. Nobody knows anything. I know. It's so funny. Let's see here. Let's look at Connor Hughes. See what he's saying. There's our buddy. Connor Hughes will be on the show in the next week or two on the Thursday show because he was unable to make it last Thursday because there was a lot of thoughts that maybe the big news would come. So let's see. 46 minutes ago, Connor Hughes says the Jets are currently plus 1,500 to win the Super Bowl next year. Those are the seventh best odds. They are plus 900 to win the AFC. That's fourth best. You can see what Vegas thinks is going to happen tomorrow. Yeah. So let's look at this one. Connor Hughes also says, because Aaron Rodgers, excuse me. Wait, so we'll read Peter's first. Peter Bukowski says, Connor is saying he thinks this gets done tomorrow, but is heavily couching it because no one knows when Rodgers' final decision is coming. And then Connor responds and says, because Aaron Rodgers can say he wants pancakes for breakfast. Go to the store and buy pancake ingredients, spend the time making pancakes, plate those pancakes, then throw those pancakes at the wall and eat a Cliff Bar. He's exactly right. I like how he said it, actually. All of the details. Like, when they were saying today, Adam Schefter tweeted that he thought all indications are that it's going to be the Jets. What is that? Nothing. It means that we can say whatever we want and it can still be decided to be the opposite. And that's what Connor Hughes is saying here. See, like right here, all signs pointing to the Jets acquiring Aaron Rodgers. However, he has not officially told the Packers to trade him. Here's where we stand and where it looks like we're headed. Let's see.
Rodgers, but I think what you've heard a lot of across the NFL on Monday with the start of the legal tampering period is a lot of player-to-player talking, a lot of agent-to-player talking, and what there have been legitimate rumors and murmurs of is that Aaron Rodgers is beginning to talk to other prospective free agents or unrestricted free agents about joining him in New York with the Jets. But again, those talks might indicate that Aaron Rodgers is headed to the Jets, but as of right now, because there has been no official statement from Rodgers, there has been no official trade worked out to this point. But what I can tell you is that there is legitimate optimism that this is going to get done. All signs are pointing in the direction that this is going to get done. But as of right now, it is not officially done. So we continue to wait a little bit longer.
Are there any signs pointing to when it might be done? When might Aaron Rodgers
let
us know?
What did you just say, you buffoon?
I would say yes. I think it's going to be happening. Look, this is what I'm talking about with Aaron Rodgers. Is that I think right now, if you ask me when I think it's going to get done, I think we're going to have the answer tomorrow. Like that's genuinely when I think it's going to happen. But this is also Rodgers, and his opinion changes, and what he does changes, and whether it's soon or whether it's not soon. That literally all signs. I kind of just talking about this to start it off. All signs can be pointing in one direction that it's going to happen and this is going to go down now and this is what it's going to happen here. And then all of a sudden it'll change. You know what I mean?
There you go. So we got the point. Oh my gosh. Look at this guy. Huh? Wow. And then you can do this. Where is it? You can just get comfy. I got to do this every day too. You know what I mean? I got to get it. I got to break it all up. You got to do this. How do I look? Right? Yeah. All right, ladies. MJ Dunn checking in. Excuse me. Thank you. He says, you effing crack me up and like to cook like me. There you go. Well, good. That's kind of, it's the best compliment I can get, man. That we're having a little bit of fun, right? Like, sometimes we take this shit so seriously that we get like mad at each other. There's no reason for me to be mad at you. Unless you're trying to hurt my feelings or something personal, different story. But about the Jets, we can be disappointed. We can be upset. But if we ever take it to getting like mad at each other, like I fucking hate you, something's up. You know what I mean? Should be having fun. This is supposed to be fun. The Jets haven't afforded us much opportunity to have any fun recently. But still, fine, we got to find the fun because that's what we're doing here. That's what we're trying to do. It's sports. JF. Who's JF? Hennessy. Hey, Hennessy. How you doing, buddy? JF. Who's JF? I can't think. Not JD, right? You talking? Said Zach didn't even play. Oh, Jets forever. That's what you're doing. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, man. It's delusional. I mean, that's the thing. And you can still have hope and faith, and sure. But the idea that he didn't play bad because we didn't give him 60 passing attempts a game it's delusional. It's delusional. Zach's a very talented young player, man. Let's be real. But something's off with him. You know what I mean? Let's live in the fucking real world, guys. So, all right, let's do a couple more comments here. I got to go to sleep. This is crazy. I'm going to go eat me a big old-fashioned chicken cutlet or something. Yeah, I saw it, Rob. I got it. Let's see. Who is this? Somebody said GreenBean. Where'd it go? Eric S. checking in. GreenBean, bro, it's ridiculous that we are still waiting on. Why? It's fucking day one, Eric. What are we talking about, Eric? Like, think about this. I get it, our feelings, because we've been talking about it for 2 months. The truth is, it's day one of the tampering period. It's not even the day when they can sign. All the deals that we heard about today, none of them happened. None. Not one. They can all change tomorrow. We've seen it more than once, right? Like, the truth is, the Jets only went to see Aaron Rodgers, so they had their first meeting with Aaron Rodgers days ago. Today was the first day that they could have negotiations, real ones anyway, as far as the NFL and free agency, and we're going into day two. Like, it makes it, I think we're acting like it's been 3 weeks. Like, come on with this guy. We're day one. I think we gotta make sure to keep that in perspective. I get it. I feel it too. But I have to remind myself, like, dude, I haven't been, just because we've been talking about it on YouTube for 2 months doesn't mean that that's what's really been happening. I mean, shit, Aaron Rodgers went to a dark retreat. He was doing shit. He wasn't doing this. We were doing this. He wanted to decompress after the season. He went and did his thing. He's just coming back to the world. And again, we're asking a guy to make a decision, which is to leave the place that he's worked for 18 years. He's built his whole life up there. Lambeau Field, legendary organization. Super Bowl victory, MVPs. And we're asking him to come to New York, to a historically bad franchise who hasn't had success, or we haven't been to the playoffs in 12 years. He's been in the league for 18. The last time we made it to the playoffs, he was only a 6-year vet. Think about that. And we're asking him to do all that now. Come on. What the fuck? Now. What's this guy's problem? Like, that's the way we're acting. It's like, let's give it a second. And it's an incredibly complex contract. Have you ever seen anything like it? $120 million in dead cap. Fucking crazy, this contract. Beastly would tap me. That's nice. Do you know what I mean, buddy? Again, I'm not judging anybody. I get it, but I think we need to keep it in perspective. It's not like we've been waiting for a month for this guy, or even a week. We haven't. It's 1 day, really. And even if we back it up to when the Jets flew to California and met with him, what day was that? Wasn't that Wednesday or something? Right? What day was that? Let me see. Let me try to find it. New York Jets meet with Aaron Rodgers, California. What day was that? All right, Jets flew out to California 6 days ago. So even that, today is day 6 of that. You know what I mean? So that was 6 days ago. So what does that mean? I guess it was Tuesday last week. So we're going into, tomorrow. No, it was Wednesday, because tomorrow will be day 6. Well, today, it's 1 in the morning. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. I think we have to just keep it in perspective, everybody. You know, I know. Again, if you were like me, you were online all day, right? So every hour felt like it was a day. Every minute was an hour. And we're getting all these bullshit tweets and our emotions are up and down and up and down. So it wears on you, man. You know, I get it. Totally. I only bought one today, right? Like most of the shit that we saw, I was like, let me wait for confirmation. People are saying shit, I didn't even buy in. One time I did, and I got all into it, and I watched ESPN or whatever the hell it was for 2 hours, and I was on with O'Leary and checked Ryan, and this, blah, blah, blah. It was when Trey Wingo said it's a done deal. And then immediately following, Garrett Wilson tweeted, Sauce Gardner tweeted, Breece Hall tweeted, Mekhi Becton tweeted, other guys were tweeting. So I thought, holy shit, it's real. Other than that, I didn't buy into it once. You know what I mean? I was just like, when I hear it's real, I'll figure it out. I'll respond then, you know? But yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing, dude. It's day one, guys. And if since we went out there and flew to California and chatted with them, tomorrow's day 6. It's not like we've been doing this for a long time. It's not. We have. Hey, what are you doing up, Chris? I've held up leases on an apartment longer than A-Rod is taking with this contract. Give it time. Also, add on the other contracts the Jets are trying to get done. Lots of moving parts. Agreed. Well said. And then, look, we might even find out, too, Chris, that there were other players involved. Like, we're sending Corey Davis and we're getting Bakhtiari, or, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? I think we just need to take a second. Let's take a second. 12, 1. Wow, this is 3.5 hour stream. Holy shit. We're just crushing it. Anthony says, I really think Rodgers breaking the news on McAfee is a real. I think that's very real too, Anthony. I do. Been watching Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays since 2 years, and their friendship is way more than an interview. Makes sense to mainstream, right? And to give it to him as opposed to Schefter or Rappaport, these same guys who pay off agents with whiskey and trips. Like, he's like, screw that. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm going to give it to my guy. I'm going to break it to him. It makes sense to me. Now, we don't know if it'll happen, but I'm with you, Anthony. That's the way I'm leaning. All right. Let's see. One last comment. Rob V, you get the last comment, buddy. He's a Jet already. Now it's about who's coming with him. Then it will be announced. I love it. I'm with you. Guys, listen, I appreciate your support. It's great to hang out with you guys. It's 1:30 in the morning almost, and we're still here, right? If you'd like to support the channel, hitting the like button is big. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, like you Green Bay folks, it's greatly appreciated. If you do, it helps the channel grow. It's the only way we can do it. If you're looking for more exclusive content with me, you can join the Beanbaggers. The link is in the description of this very video. And there's all kinds of fun. We are together all the time in the Beanbaggers. They're talking all night. I mean, I'll show you the Beanbagger Discord. Yep, there it is right there. It's just like, this is the Beanbagger Discord. It's just going and going and going. They're just chatting. There's 40, 50 of them, about 50 people in there, and they're chatting all day. It's private. It's just us. You know what I mean? It's great. You want that? The link's in the description. If you want to just support the live streams and get some free emojis and all that stuff, every time I get a new person, I can add emojis like this one I just added today. Here's the freshest one. This one. Boom. What do you think of that? Bing. So there you go. That's my new emoji. So you get that stuff. The join button's right there. And as always, guys, you know we're sponsored by Manscaped. You can save 20% in the description using promo code GreenBean or the Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier. You can save 20% with them too using my promotional code GreenBean Jetsfan. Guys, thank you very much for being here. And again, thanks to all the Green Bay people. For the most part, you guys have been pretty awesome tonight. For the most part. I didn't catch too much baloney. So thank you guys for being here. I'll see you when what will feel like minutes. We'll probably be on together in a few minutes. Have a great night, everybody. Get some rest. That's not the right one. This is the right one, doy. Here we go. Have a good... Where the hell did it go? I just lost it. Damn it. There it is. Have a good night, everybody.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8.
Johnny Lamb Jones. Wide receiver. As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to fool Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't. Fullback.
Roger Vick. Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the dress all about.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end, Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golson.
Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner. Dino Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.